Good morning again. Welcome. I'm streaming on TikTok and on YouTube. TikTok is Prosperous Living with _T, and YouTube is Prosperous Living with Toyia. So give it a few moments for everyone to come in so we can start our book club review. The power of awareness. That's where your power lies. Consciousness is the only reality. What you think about, you bring about. So Neville Goddard helps us to remember, reminds us that imagining really does create reality. Imagining creates reality. We want it to be a wrong or right. We want it to be a good or bad. We wanted it to be a positive or negative. But these things only come about because thinking makes it so. If you didn't think it, then it wouldn't be it. So if you don't want to see it, stop thinking it. So simple, right? So simple. Easy peasy, fresh and squeezy, but we want to complicate it. We're going to add all of these different other iterations to how we manifest, but it's as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Can't get any more simpler than that. Whatever you desire when you pray, believe you received it and you shall have it. Can't get any more simpler than that. Believe causes the impossible to be what? Possible. Causes the possible to be possible. If thou canst believe, all things are possible. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Now all you have to do is convince yourself of it. Get yourself to believe in it. That's all you have to do. Be convinced, be convicted, accept it, normalize it. Make it real to you. See yourself as that person, as that being. See yourself as already having it. Hey, Deniza. Well, it's all about the decision. You have to choose to stop warring with yourself. You have to decide to command reality instead of asking reality to do something for you. No, we're not. In the scripture, when it says to ask, it's not saying to try to figure out a way to get something to happen. No, it's about commanding. Like when it's like if you had like when your parents gave you an instruction, it wasn't up for debate or negotiation, right? They said what they said. That's how you have to do your reality. This is not up. We're not bargaining with reality. This is not negotiating. We're not, we're commanding. The king doesn't negotiate authority. The king knows it is the authority. That's how you have to be in your reality. You're not bargaining with reality. Oh, I like that reality. To whom religion is given, critical thinking is taken. That's it. That's it. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. When should you detach from playing the scenes of your manifestations? When you have found rest. You would normally stop once you have reached a state of acceptance. So you don't have to worry about when. The moment the moment it becomes real for you, once acceptance has taken place, you will no longer feel the need to try to make it so or think it so. You will simply know it's so. The only reason you're replaying it is to convince yourself that you have it. The moment you convince yourself that you have it is the moment you stop rehearsing the scene, right? The moment it becomes real to you. And I can't tell you when that's going to happen. Hey, 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 all Shammy. Welcome, welcome. Hey, hey, hey. Cheryl, how are you? You say, how do you convince yourself? You have to just keep talking to yourself, right? It's about, here's the thing. This is where people get tripped up. People don't like to be of one mind. Are you deciding what you want and then speaking against it? So that's double-mindedness, right? And you shouldn't think you're going to get anything. So you have to ask yourself, am I being attentive to the one thing I say I want, or am I questioning its ability to come forth? See, the moment you question and doubt, you're being what? Double-minded. To convince yourself that you have something is to know it's there. Is not to check to see if it happens. We don't do look-sees. We don't seek for signs. Because if I have a car, I don't need a sign that I have having the car is the sign. So I don't go into my garage looking to see, is my car still there? Is my car still there? Is my car still there? I know my car is there. I don't have to look for it. So you know you're convinced of it when you're not trying to look for a sign or to try to see if it's there. So when you think of what you want, how do you talk about it? Do you talk about it as how am I going to get it, or do you live from the state that you already have it? That's what you have to reconcile in your mind. How do I think of my desire? Am I thinking of it, or am I thinking from it? Thinking of it is trying to figure out how it's going to come. Thinking from it says I already have it. Oh, okay. Did you? Did you? Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Alex. Thank you. Hello, Ray all day. Hey Stefan, you say, have I read any of the Gnostic texts? Like what specifically? Good morning, Cheryl. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I couldn't wait I'm on the East Coast, so I couldn't wait for 11.
Oh, say, come on, you doing the countdown, huh?
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, I shared last week that, I've read this book before. I've got things highlighted and underlined, but boy, like just talking about it and, getting other people's perceptions, like I feel like it really went a lot deeper. So I'm loving the conversations we've already had, and I'm excited for today.
Yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So the usual suspects haven't made their appearance other than you, Cheryl. So we'll see. We'll give people a few more minutes and then we'll get into just if it's just you and I. You and I. Or whoever else wants to come up. If anyone else is in the chat that has read the book, you want to come up on the panel, don't be shy. We do not bite. We welcome you with open arms. Nothing but love over here. Got nothing but love for you, baby. Nothing but love. Hey, Tam V. Hey, the 0120. What's up? Whatchamacallit? Where you been? It's been a minute. Happy New You. Happy New Year. Well, yes, yes, yes. It is an amazing book. It is. And so we'll be discussing chapters 3 through 5 today. We started the book club last Saturday. Oh, and it was a gem. You can catch the recap on my YouTube channel, Prosperous Living with Toyia, if you want to catch the recap of last week's discussion on the first 2 chapters. The first 2 chapters were I Am and Consciousness. The next 3 chapters that we'll be reading or discussing, not reading, discussing, Power of Assumption, Desire, and the Truth that Sets You Free. Hey, Andrea, welcome.
I just want to say too, when we read last week, and you said we could only, you only had 2 hours, it was your anniversary, and I'm like, I was shocked we didn't get to the 3rd chapter.
I know, right?
Because they're so short.
It was like, wait, what? We didn't finish 3 chapters as short as these chapters are?
I know, they're like 2 pages. But that's how much, I was like, wow, there's so much here.
Yes. Hello, Andrea.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I
My
can hear
Bluetooth.
you.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've read the chapters 3, 4, and 5, like you said, and it has been nothing but mind blowing. Um, and it's just been like we talked about before in your last line about self-concept. It just kept hitting it home about changing that and changing your inner world. You know what I'm saying? What you think and how you believe about yourself. And I like how he used the analogy of moth to the flame. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a good analogy that you see that it's whatever's within you, you're gonna be drawn to it. So it's an inner work, it's self-concept. You see what I'm saying? You have to die to the old beliefs in order to bring in the new. So this but I tell you, I was writing down stuff and then it was just really, really hitting home the importance of renewing your mind. A renewed mind equals a new life. And that's basically what was being drawn home to me when I read it. So yeah.
Yep. That's beautiful. So we're going to just say hi to everyone and then we'll start with Cheryl since she was the first one up. Hey, Mia, you can unmute. Just saying hi. How are you?
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Sorry,
morning.
I'm extra raspy. This is my morning voice.
I know, right? You good. Sexy. You got that sexy voice going on. Good morning.
It's giving
She's
Weezy
sexy,
Jefferson. I don't know. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, Gigi. How are you? Good morning, bestie.
Morning. Good morning, everybody. How's it going?
Good.
Love the sexy voice there, Mia.
I
Love
know,
it.
right? Good morning, Key.
Very
How
Nina
are
You gotta
you?
teach me how to do that, Gigi. That was sexy.
That's the benefits of being Puerto Rican and Cuban. You learn to roll the R's at a young age. Arr, arr, arr.
Good morning,
Good
Key.
morning. Hi, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Great.
Good morning, Key.
Oh, so yes, we got a nice little panel here. So we'll begin with Cheryl. She was the first one to enter the panel rather. So what did you want to bring to our to the forefront?
Power of Assumption.
Yes.
Well,
Power of Assumption, chapter 3.
I could identify a lot with, is it Andrea Gray? Just about like what really I walked away with last week was like that self-concept. Like, I mean, it was really profound, like that, and made me really reflect on it a lot. And so I was reading chapter 3, what really stood out to me was, again, it's about like our whole self concept. Like he talks about, and Neville talks about, to be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change. And I like, if this assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling. And that really like dominant feeling, which then made me think about how he talks about magnetized steel, and like bringing things to you, like, where am I, like, where am I throughout the day? Like, what am I attracting? What is that dominant feeling? And so I just really could see more and more that I had to get really clear with my self-concept so I could take accountability so that I could start to be more aware of where I'm living at when I'm not really thinking about anything. So I just really appreciated, again, just kind of bringing it back to, it makes sense. I'm starting to make sense in my life. Before, like I think I said last week, I kind of came to Neville because I wanted things. I wanted a better life, but I wasn't really like doing like that inventory that Gigi talked about. Like, where am I living?
Yeah.
What's my dominant moods? What's my dominant beliefs? Like that self-concept, my whole belief system. I have to look at that and, change it. So I did actually, I even wrote a list of like what I wanted my self-concept to be so I could get clear. I think clarity is the big piece for me.
It is. Yep. Yep. That's beautiful. That's a clarity. And I know Neville uses the word feeling a lot, right? And a lot of people misconstrue that they think he's talking about feelings because he says feeling. But when he's talking about feeling, he's talking about the naturalness, the normalcy. He's talking about your belief, your knowing, your acceptance of a thing, right? Not how you emotionalize it. Right? Even though he talks about mood, he's talking about the state that you dwell and find yourself in.
Yeah, that's why I like the example of the steel, because that makes more sense. Like the magnetized steel isn't doing anything. It's just is. It's, believe, and then it brings everything to it. It isn't a feeling, it's impersonal.
Yep. That's it. That's beautiful. Andrea, you can unmute.
Hey, the part in chapter 3 that really got to me was that it's in the beginning. It said that is why a change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. Rain falls as a result of a change in temperature in the higher regions of the atmosphere. So, in like manner, a change of circumstance happened as a result of a change in your state of consciousness. And that right there really was just driving home, you know what I'm saying, to really like the lady was saying, to do like self checks of how you're thinking, was, your beliefs and what you have in your mind and stuff like that. And that really was like jumping out at me. And then when you talk about feeling, it's really, and like you was talking about, embodying it, becoming it. And that's one thing that he really was driving home, is like when you really become it, you're thinking from it. You're not thinking from the past self. You're thinking from this new being, this new consciousness that you are consenting to, that you are allowing. You know what I'm saying? And so that right there really drove home. And I like how he kept saying, be transformed, renewing of your mind. That's basically what it is, And so yeah, that's the part of the book. It was a lot of nuggets in here. I got so much highlighter, and
You almost got like the whole page, each chapter, just highlight everything he said. You be trying to like, well, let me see what's much more poignant, right?
Yeah, because like the part you were saying, like the part like submissions, they mean submissions of the whole self up to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and certainty that the new state of consciousness is renewing of mind, which transforms. And that part right there was like, just kept bringing it home. That's how your world change is inner. It's never outer. It's always internal.
And somebody wants, and someone asked earlier, how do you know when to stop rehearsing? I can't tell you when it feels real to you. You want me to tell you when it should feel real to you. How is that supposed to happen? How am I supposed to tell you when you're convinced of your reality? Impossible for me to tell you that you believe in you. I can't. No one can do that.
Yeah, it's an inner work. It's when you like, okay, this is who I am now. This is who I am. This is what I believe. And like you were saying, nobody can tell you when you get there.
Right.
You will know within when you are there. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how, I like the part that say, this is how the healing comes in. This is how all those things, because you keep believing it until you feel it and it's within yourself.
Yep.
So no one can tell you when this is going to happen. It's going to take place on this date. No, you know, because you keep focusing on it. You keep meditating on it. You keep renewing your mind to that. And you feeling from that,
Yep.
not
The
from the
moment you're
old
able
part.
to release the how,
Yes.
once you
Mm-hmm.
that's how you know. When you start trying to figure out how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen, that's how you know it has happened. That's how you know. And no one can give you a time frame for that. No one. Were you good, or did you want to add something else, Andrea?
I was good. My son started walking. I'm cooking breakfast too. So
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't want a whole lot of noise in the background.
Yep, yep, yep. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mia, you can unmute and share, and then we'll go to Key. No, I'm sorry, Gigi. We'll go to Mia, Gigi, then Key.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I can't believe we didn't get through chapter 3 last time.
That's what, yeah. Same thing Cheryl said. Cheryl said the same thing.
But I love how chapter 3 is perfectly placed because I feel like until you have a really good understanding of self-concept and until your self-concept is in the place where it needs to be, until you're fully knowing who you are, that you really truly love yourself, if you kind of forgiving yourself for all those old stories, you've detached from all those attachment that made you feel like you were undeserving, that you need to suffer, that things must be hard, that next level of everything else that you must accept won't be able to happen. You know, it's a very important step to allowing those desires and all that to happen in the next chapters of the book. So that self-concept and how you see yourself is super duper important. Because for you to be deserving of all those things you want, you have to love yourself. You have to know who you are, and you have to know who you are. So that's one thing that I really took away. And, you know, that I had to learn for myself that, you know, I always thought that I thought so highly of myself because of certain things. And I think I mentioned this last time, but you kind of really truly understand that you don't love yourself in the intrinsic spiritual God way, in how you look and think about yourself. And when you think about the desires of your heart and the things you want, when those self-sabotaging thoughts come into your mind, that's where real love for yourself resides, you know? Do you think you deserve the things that you want? You know, those thoughts that come in and say, you can't do that. That's going to be too hard for you. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. These people don't really like you. They think this about you. You don't deserve this. That is a part of that self-concept that you have built up that is blocking you from all of those manifestations and you getting all those desires of your heart. So I love how this chapter was placed in the beginning as we move forward in the book because it's super important. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can unmute, Gigi.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, the reason why we didn't get to chapter 3 last week is because last week was just an awakening. That was the awakening book club.
Yes, yes.
Everybody had an epiphany. And it went how it should, and I love it. Yeah, this book, wow. This is and just like the other young lady was saying earlier, that has a lot of nuggets. Yeah, the one I have on my PDF, it's yellow and pink with all the highlighting I've been doing. But yeah, this chapter really makes you take some inventory of what your beliefs are. And you see, a lot of the beliefs that we have, you know, succumbed to are beliefs that other people have told us about ourselves. See, we weren't taught at a young age, it's about what you believe. And it's because our parents didn't know that, and our grandparents didn't know that. You know, so basically what they were taught, they just passed it down from generation to generation. And when you realize that it's you, it's what you're willing to accept and not accept, then
Hold on
taking
for one second.
accountability.
hold on for one second, Gigi, because I am on YouTube as well. So no,
Yeah.
it's not a class. It's a book club. We're discussing the book that you see in the background on the green screen, Neville Goddard's Power of Awareness. So we're having the book discussion. We're discussing chapters 3 through 5, and right now we're reviewing chapter 3. Go ahead, Gigi.
Oh, okay. So then, this chapter actually, like Cheryl and Adrian, I think her name is, said that you start writing a list of the things that you desire and what your new self concept is. Yeah, I started doing the same thing because I noticed there were some things that were planted in me that I did not plant myself, that I had to uproot and delete it or cast it into the nothingness from which it came, like Flora Scotian says.
Yes.
And start planting new thoughts, new things about myself that I desire, not what anybody else has put in me. And I started thinking about the Joseph Murphy book, about the example about the sailor, when the lady was telling the sailor, oh, you're sick. And he's like, no, I'm not. I've been on a boat my whole life. I never get sick. Mm-hmm. So at times while I was even making this list, those little thoughts would come in like that annoying lady. And I would say, no, well, this is who I am now. You need to go. You're not welcome here anymore. Goodbye. You need to go. And then the moment I just took my attention or awareness from that and was focusing on my new thoughts, it just automatically on its own disappeared. And then I just started seeing like shifts in my life. So it's really powerful, this book. But on chapter 3, where he says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. To be transformed, the whole basis of your thoughts must change, but your thoughts cannot change unless you have new ideas, for you think from your ideas. All transformations begin with an intense, burning desire to be transformed. The first step in the renewing of mind is desire. You must want to be different and intend to be before you can begin to change yourself. Then you must make your future dream a present fact. You do this by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, by desiring to be other than what you are. You can create an ideal of the person you want to be and assume that you are already that person. If the assumption is persisted in until it becomes your dominant feeling or knowing or acceptance, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. And you have to give birth to that new person by staying aware that you are that person.
Yeah. Gotta be it to see it.
Yep. What did I call it? Repeat the being. Repeating the being.
Yeah. And I know you'll hear people say, well, you don't want the stuff, you don't want the money, you don't want this, you want the feeling that you want the money. It's okay to say you want the money. I mean, I don't know why we try to make people feel bad for wanting stuff.
Yeah.
You want the money. See yourself with the money.
You want the car.
Who are you now that you have the money? Right? We have Kevin up here writing. He said his son manifested $500, then he decided to manifest $500, and he manifested $50,000. Right? He didn't try to analyze why he wanted $50,000. Why am I good enough? Should I have it? Is this too much? No, he wanted the money, and he manifested the money. Like, we have to stop trying to demonize or make people feel less than for wanting things. That's why we're here. To experience things. We came into physicality to experience this third dimensional reality.
That's something that we're taught, though. We're taught that if we want money, oh, that's bad. Why would you want money? Or, oh, you want to travel. Why would you want to travel the world? I mean, why do I have to justify what I want? And I mean, even people that have taught this stuff, present party excluded, say, you have to give a reason why you want it. And I'd be like, why do I have to give a reason why I want it? I never saw Jesus ever say to the lady with the issue of blood, say, yeah, why do you want to get healed?
That part.
Or to the guy, to the centurion,
make a vision board of your wants.
Or the centurion, why do you want your servant healed? What's your reason? Because I got to give God a reason. No, he just said, your servant is healed. He said,
Because every
Your
desire
faith has made you
is
whole.
God wanting to experience it anyway. That's a
Thank
whole.
you.
That's why you have the desire for what? The experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he just said it's yours. It's healed. It's done. Your faith has made you whole. So basically, he didn't really do anything. It was the person's faith that
Yeah.
made whatever they desired,
Yeah, because
whole.
we want to feel like that that this is some hierarchy way to experience life. That, oh, if I'm good enough, if I feel better than, if I feel worthy of, unnecessary. It's not about feeling better than, it's not about feeling deserving it, it's not about worthiness. It is about, can you believe that you have it? That's the only condition. That whatever you desire, do you believe it's yours? That's the only condition. One condition. Can you accept the reality of it? That's it.
That's it.
Yep. And so, Gigi, we're going to go to Key.
Awesome. Hi, Key.
Hello, Key. You can unmute. And then after that, we'll greet the other three that came up on the panel before we allow them to share their thoughts. Go ahead,
All
Key.
right. Hey, T. Hey, Gigi. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
So there is something that I had to figure out in order to make chapter 3 make sense to me because Neville, he talks so much about imagination. And I'm like, oh, imagine, I can do that, right? So I would fall asleep imagining and wake up imagining. My imagination used to be so vivid, but I admit that very little in my world changed. But I feel like I got caught up in fantasy land and I stayed there. And I never fully moved to assuming and being because I never knew I was supposed to.
Ooh,
Never
talk
knew.
about it, girl. Talk about it. Let's go ahead.
Fantasy fantasy felt safe and it didn't require me letting go of my old coping mechanisms. So you used to say, well, you stay on the struggle bus. I stayed on the struggle bus because it felt familiar to me. And I used to question myself, like, what even is belief? And how do you know you even believe in something? Like Gigi just said, she said we were passed down beliefs. I believed in Santa Claus. I believed in the tooth fairy. I believed that if I blew on a candle and made a wish, it would come true. And I believe so many things that have fallen away or changed. I used to buy lottery tickets so many times and just say with conviction, I will win. And I really thought I was believing. You said something that you posted on your Facebook, and then you just said it this morning too. You said Neville talks about feeling and that he is talking about the naturalness of it. And you said that you have to make it real and natural and normal. And because this is the successful use of imagination. So I will always say that T, you were the click in my journey of self-awareness. You will always be the click. Because when I read chapter 3 again, I finally understood why Neville talks so much about imagining. And now I know that Neville assumed that self aware people would use imagination as a tool to identify what felt regular or ordinary or settled versus what still felt foreign or weird because normalcy always wins. And consciousness doesn't reward imagination, it defaults to what you identify with. And you can't know what feels normal to you until you imagine yourself having it. And that's why feeling is the secret. What does it feel like when you imagine having it? And once imagining having a thing feels settled and natural, then you have accepted that thing to be true. So imagination is the tool. And I wish I understood this years ago.
Mm.
And like when what Gigi just said, she actually read something that stood out to me. She said, if this assumption is persistent in until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your idea is inevitable. So you just can't imagine having it. You gotta assume being the person with it. Oh,
Wait a minute. I got to turn that down. There we
Right.
go.
It came in
that
at the
was
right
my cue.
time. It came in at the right time. That's a cheer. It's giving you cheers, Key. I loved it.
Oh, I'm
You
like,
did that on purpose,
hey,
T.
I'm like, I woke somebody. We woke somebody up. That's what that sound. Somebody got woke up. But yeah, but this chapter was the missing link, and then what you said on your Facebook and what you just said, that was the missing link for me. And I do have a funny story. I'll be quick. But
Hmm.
it happened last week with my mom. So I live in a nice area in a nice, a nice home. But I now identify with the woman who lives in a gated estate. I'm the woman I live on a golf course in a luxury town in an upscale community surrounded by wealth. That's who I am now. So my mom came to my now house to visit, and she walks in, as she's done many, many times. And the first thing I say is, "Oh, I'm so glad you came to check out my new home. And so let me show you around and give you the tour." And so my mom looked at me like, "What?" Like my daughter has lost her mind. So, I grit my teeth and I'm like, play along, like play along. So she gets it. So I walk her around the kitchen and I'm like, "Hey mom, check out my 36-inch Thermador professional stove. Check out my Sub-Zero refrigerator. Let's go. Let me show you the refrigerated wine cellar." And so we had this good laugh. My mom, she thought it was hilarious, and we walked around the house and she played along. She was ooh and whatever I showed her. But this is the thing. It felt unremarkable imagining it, because I now know I have successfully identified and assumed the identity of the person who owns that home. So I know I'm gonna have it. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes. That's it. That's it. Love
Love
it.
it.
Love it.
I love
Love
it.
it. Love it. That's beautiful. Yes. I want to read the next paragraph after what GT had read. It says, in giving birth to your ideal, you must bear in mind that the methods of mental and spiritual knowledge are entirely different. This is a point that is truly understood by probably not more than one person in a million. You know a thing mentally by looking at it from the outside, by comparing it with other things, by analyzing it and defining it, by thinking of it. Whereas you can know a thing spiritually only by becoming it, only by thinking from it. You must be the thing itself and not merely talk about it or look at it. And a lot of us were just talking about it. We thought because we talked about it, that made it so. Right? There's a script that says, "You honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me." See, once your heart is in it, once the subconscious has been impressed with it, being it, you don't really no longer have to talk about it, because you are it, right? You express it naturally without, it's effortless to you. And so that post I made on Facebook that Key was referencing, and because I was going back over the chapters before we came on live, and I was like, yes, we really need to define what Neville Goddard means by feeling, right? And he's saying what he's telling, because like he said, create a visual imprint in your mind, right? Envision yourself. So what's he actually saying? Use your five senses mentally. Mentally taste it, touch it, smell it, hear it, see it in your mind. You're supposed to do this in your mind. That's why the Bible says, commune with thy own self upon thy bed and be still. Still your mind and be focused on the one thing that you say that you are, and make it real, make it natural to you. So it's not just about talking about it, it's about being it. And when you are it, you find yourself not really having to talk about it, because people will what? Naturally see it. And so with that being said, I'm going to ask my secret level up to unmute, as well as Roy. I just want to say hi to you guys. Welcome. Good morning. Glad to
Hi, good
have you
morning.
here. Royal, you can unmute. How are you? Welcome.
Hey, family, good morning.
Good morning. And
Happy
so,
to be back in the book club.
good to have you here. Okay, and now my secret level up, you can, now Kevin was on the panel, I guess he stepped down. But my secret level up, you can share with us what was brought to your attention in chapter 3.
Okay, so in chapter 3, all that befalls a man,
all that is done by him, all that comes from him, happens as a result of his state of consciousness. A man's consciousness is all that he thinks and desires and loves, all that he believes is true and consents to. That is why a change of consciousness is necessary before you can change your outer world. So that really stuck out to me. And when I think about how my mother used to instill these concepts in me at a very young age, she would always repeat to me that I could be, do, and have whatever I put my mind to. And I would always say to myself in times of doubt that I get whatever I want repeatedly as a mantra, and I would. But it wasn't until I started to do my own research, start picking up books and watching all of these videos and just picking up other ideologies, manifestation techniques that I started to become stagnant in my manifestations. And I just feel that that was a time that I started to become double-minded because I wasn't focused on I can have it, not feeling as if I needed to do anything externally. And I wanted to piggyback off of what Key had said about like being in that fantasy land. I felt like now that I had all of those other tools and I was trying to use everything at once, it was lessening the power that I had. And at that time, like that's when everything just became a blur. And it also reminded me of the story of who was it? Was it Moses? Yeah, Moses. He was supposed to lead the Israelites into the promised land, and it was only supposed to take 11 days. But because of the disobedience, because of the lack of faith, all of the things kind of sort of what I was doing, reaching out for all of these external things, it put me on this 40-year journey as opposed to that 11 days. And that's when all of this, to me, it was static would show up because it was really getting in the way of my true power. Um, and I think I also wanted to say that I want to say it was a few years ago, I watched a show called Inventing Anna. I don't know if anybody is familiar with it on Netflix. It literally is the ultimate Neville
I've
Goddard
seen it.
show. Like, if no one has seen it, take some time to watch it. I mean, because at this point, I'm inventing Anna.
And
I heard that.
yeah, it's a it's a good show.
But yeah, that's really all I have for y'all this morning. I'm again just grateful to be here, grateful to be able to just deep dive into these concepts with a community who gets it.
Yes, yes. And we love having you here too. Thanks for sharing. It's so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Yeah. When you can have their revelation and reconciliation of the gap between the desire and the being, right? Because so many times we get lost in the desiring of the thing. And in bridging that gap from wanting it to being it, being the person who has it. So, oh yes, yes. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for joining. Royal, you can unmute and share.
All right. First of all, the book is amazing.
Yeah.
I love how he repeats everything because I listen to it on audiobook and I'm taking notes. So he's like, again to repeat. He's running that through it. Um, but no, I was gonna speak on. So he said, man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness, and that just really hit home for me. So like I'm 41, and for about 38, 39 years, I've been living externally. Like everything has been from the outer, you know what I mean? Not even acknowledging that there was an inner world, let alone creating everything. So now just being on this, I don't want to even say journey, but just being aware of this and how powerful the consciousness um, is just life changing. I don't know if it's this chapter or the next chapter, but he was saying like test it. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
test your imagination, try it out, and then see the results and accomplishments. Even if it's something small, something big, if it's 100,000 or 1,000 or whatever it is, just test it. So yeah, every day before I get out the bed, I'm just trying to make sure I realign before I even enter into this world, and just get that self concept right. And it's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey, and there's some dips. That's why I love these book clubs, because they you know what I mean. Sometimes they realign it back up. So
Yep. Yeah. That's why I like to have the
but
space in between, right? Because there's no sense of going from book to book to book and never
right,
having time to apply, right? You got to make it applicable to your life. You got to make it practical, right? And see, does
gotta
it really
embody it.
work, right?
Yeah,
Embody it. Yeah, take a moment
yeah,
to really let that settle with the new revelation that has come upon you. Let it be you. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I realized too. At first, on the beginning, like when I first started getting into this, and, it was like so many books coming my way, podcasts, like everything. Just I'm like, was this shit happening this whole time? Or, but of course, it's like now that I'm aware, it's all now I can see it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had to take some time to just like, all right, let me embody this. Like I can sit here and talk about it all day, but like he said, don't talk about it, be about it. So I could talk about it all day, but let me actually live from that.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. And so, guys, let me know. You could just unmute your microphone, and I'll see, and that'll alert me that you want to share more or talk more about the chapter. So I did want to read this final paragraph in chapter 3. It says, "Imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe. However, your nature is such that it is optional to you whether you remain in your present concept of yourself, a hungry being longing for freedom, health, and security, or choose to become the instrument of your own redemption. Imagine yourself as that which you want to be, and thereby satisfying your hunger and redeeming yourself. Don't need a savior. You're your own savior. You are the Christ that was to come. You are the Jesus you've been looking for. You are, your mind is the creative power within you, because imagining really does create reality." Go ahead, Gigi.
Yes, thank you, T. It's funny because uh gurus that are teaching this, again, present party excluded, they
You're
only
your
add.
guru. You're the guru, girl. You're the
I know. I'm the guru. I'm just setting an example. That's all. But thank you for reminding me. That's why I love you, Bestie, because you always remind me. You're my little cheerleader.
Yeah.
I got like my cheerleader, and then I got you right next to me. It's like, you can do this. Um, they take out the good parts that the old school G's kept in: imagination, uh, the feeling, which is knowing, accepting. Yes, saying it. But it's just like stuff was taken out. And it's like the girl earlier before Royal was saying that when those ingredients are taken out, if you're just saying it and not putting the imagination, which the moment you start speaking, you start imagining. I mean, you don't even have to make yourself imagine. The moment you start talking about it, or praying about it, or meditating about it, or saying it to yourself, you immediately create that imagination, which is a beautiful thing. Um, but it's so true. It's like even little kids do this. Like you see little kids do this. People that play sports do this. They'll picture, like you were saying about Tom Brady, that he was already in the Super Bowl before he was in the Super Bowl. So when he was like, practicing, playing little football games here and there, he wasn't there. He was at the Super Bowl winning. So it's important to remember that imagination is your power. And like Royal said, use it, test it, have fun with it. And I love what Key Key did earlier about, saying that that she brought her mother into her new place, and describing everything. And I was right there with her. I was seeing the oven she was talking about. I was seeing the golf course as she was telling me the story. So you don't have to force yourself to imagine. You just relax, talk about it, and the imagination creates itself. Sometimes you'll see a picture, sometimes you don't. Don't matter. It's all working for you. Yeah,
Yep.
that was powerful.
Yep. Very powerful. Very powerful. Thank you. Go ahead, Mia.
Yeah, and I agree so much. And the imagination, is the key. And I recently saw a video of Kanye speaking about imagination. And he was talking about how children will have like a cape on and they'll be standing on a coffee table thinking they're on a, mountain. And someone will say, get off that coffee table, it's dangerous. And it's just like you create these things that kind of build walls. Um, Kind of interrupting that imagination and putting things in front of it to kind of block it. And, I don't know, I work around children. I recently worked in elementary schools. And when I was a child growing up in the 80s and early 90s, imagination was highly promoted to children. I'm not sure if it's highly promoted as much to children. We had Reading Rainbow and we had things that just kind of, let's imagine, let's go into our imaginary world. Let's just go dream. Labyrinth, the movie Labyrinth, and, Never Ending Story. There was this fantasy. And also, why did we stop promoting imagination after childhood? Like, why did it have to go away? Remember how they used to say, if you can see it, you can achieve it, right? If you can see it, you can achieve it. And one thing about myself with imagination that I believe that partially I manifested as a little girl, fear and manifested like childbearing. I remember as a very, 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 very young girl, I probably was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And I was very scarred by child having, I used to see people having children. I'm like, that looks painful and horrible and ill. Oh my God, I don't want to go through this horrible pain. Um, and I was like, I don't want to have kids. That's scary. That's painful. And I was fixated on having a child hurts so bad. I don't want it.
Mm.
And I was just dead set on, I don't want kids that hurts.
Wow.
And I don't know if I put that in my own experience. You know what I'm saying? But as far as imagination, that is so key. And I just think about like, why don't they tell adults to believe it and achieve it? But all of us successful adults do.
Yep.
When you hear successful people talking, they are still using their imagination. And, children, working around children, they don't promote imagination as much to children anymore as they did back in the day. So that's a really big one. Everything's technology. They don't want children to think amongst themselves. They want them to use their energy towards technology. And that's really not imagination. You know what I mean? Like being amongst yourself, playing with toys and just thinking about what could be, what you could be, right? You know how you used to play in play centers and somebody's the mommy, somebody, you're a doctor, you work for NASA. But sometimes, I don't know, I'm hearing feedback.
I think it's My Secret Level Up. Can you hear?
Oh, okay. I ain't know. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add. Like the imagination part was so awesome. And I think it's very much key to tap back into. But I don't want to dip into the next chapters, but just how he talked about controlling your imagination and controlling the noise and making sure that you're very disciplined in your thoughts. And I loved how he spoke about that because that is something that I've been working on very much so to make sure that I'm disciplined in my thought process in control of my imagination. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Love that, love that. One moment, My Secret Level Up in Royal. I'm going. We have a new guest on the panel, Anna. Hello, Anna. Welcome. You can unmute.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Definitely, I agree with everything that was recently said. As I advocate for mental health highly, I definitely speak highly for the youth individually because I have two sons who suffer with mental health and two children who actually struggle with their siblings' mental health. And so, someone mentioned, how did we get away from that? I've been navigating through the mental health spectrum for quite some time, since probably about 2016, trying to figure out what was going on between my own four walls. And basically, what I noticed over time was that social media had such a high impact on the development to the point that how network television was um, so much as far as taking away the programming and things started to be such a highlight on the social media realm. And I work with children every day. I work in the school system for close to almost 12 to 11 years. And I've worked in residentials where if you hear in my background, it's a bunch of girls having a chitter chatter right now. So excuse the sound. But definitely, I think that what happened was when network television was able to engage in such a dynamic of telling us what to think and then turning over to social media telling us what to think is what basically dissolved our own self consciousness into where we couldn't think by ourselves because now everybody wants to be the new reality or the new television show or whatever the case may be. Because I still like cartoons to this day, and it's certain things that I look to engage in. It's like now it's like everything seems like it's turning into a whole horror story.
Mm.
But definitely, I advocate for mental health. So you all are definitely on the right track. We just have to continue to be more engaged and speak more community and consciousness towards one another. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's just like anything. It's just like we can find the wrongness in any tool that we have because it's not about the tool, it's about how you utilize it, right? Anything can be used for good or bad, right? It's about the application of that tool, right? Because electricity, yes, it can light up the world or it can electrocute you. Does that make electricity in and of itself evil or wrong? No, it's how you choose to utilize. So I'm not going to say that network TV, social media, anything, any of those things are wrong. It's about those who are using it, how you are perceiving it. Because we don't live in one world, we live in our own world, right? My world will always differ from everyone else on this panel and in this chat because I'm perceiving my reality from a different perspective, and so are you. And everyone came here to experience this thing called life on their own journey, on their own path, if it's really even a journey or a path. It's really not even a destination. It's not a journey. It's not a path. It's an experience. And we're all experimenting with this thing we call life. And yes, there are going to, it's going to be an amusement park where you have a choice of a smorgasbord of things that you can decide to ride or game or play or whatever you want to say it. At the end of the day, none of this matters except you give it meaning. At the end of the day, life is whatever you make of it. And it's about telling our young people, yes, don't use social media to define you. Don't use what you see on TV to be the end all be all and the final say of reality, right? Because we know that everything is a propaganda. Everything is just a story. Everything is just a narrative. And it's what you do with the information that you're given, not so much or how you judge it. It's what you do with it. And the things you and what you do with it, at the end of the day, you have to take accountability for it. A lot of times we don't want to be accountable for the things that we choose to accept. But just like we always got a choice, regardless if we realize that we do. Regardless if you think you have a choice, you always have a choice. No one's making you turn the TV on. No one's making you turn your phone on. No one's making you engage. It's all a choice. And it's about taking your power back and deciding what choices you want to make. That's why it's called the power of awareness. And I recognize everybody ain't aware. Everybody just not aware. And that's okay. That's okay. And so we're gonna move on to chapter 4, which is desire. Hey, A-Town, how are you? And before I go to you, A-Town, my secret level up, what did you want to say? And then Royal, then we'll go to A-Town.
Just was gonna piggyback off of what Mia was saying about the imagination and the what we had access to back in the day. Like one of my favorite shows was dang, I forget his name, but he would always come in. Um, Mr. Rogers.
Mm.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was a very, very big, oh my God, when I say my favorite, like I said, my mom, she groomed me to use my imagination and it has opened so many doors for me. And I'm just open in so many areas of life that I see that a lot of people are not, and it's due to not having their imaginations groomed as kids. Even when I
I don't know, maybe she got a phone call. But we'll go to Royal oh, there she is.
Oh,
Uh,
you know
yeah.
what happened? So, Matthew 18:3. Truly, I don't know it. I was trying to read it to you while I was on live, but I see it'll snatch me down.
Yeah.
But Matthew 18:3, we have to stay childlike in order to inherit the kingdom. And I mean, just what she was saying, it just clicked for me. That's all.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the I'm probably familiar, I probably just don't know what verse it is, but if you said it to me, I'll probably come back to me. Um, go ahead, Royal.
Okay. I was actually going to speak. I didn't know what verse that was, but I was actually going to speak to that. Just how Christ was like, be childlike, so
Hmm.
that's the imagination. We need to have fun with this shit, you know what I mean? But
Hmm.
now, since we are adults, we're able to, like Mia was saying, a kid might stand on the coffee table and somebody comes like, get down off that coffee table. Versus where we're adults, so now we can have that imagination, and like he said in the book was like, where to go? Well, he pretty much said, whatever you desire, like stick to that, live from that person that you desire to be. So we can stay focused on that. Nobody, the world can try to come and say you're not wealthy, you're not whatever, you know what I mean? But as adults with a stronger conscious mind, we're able to stick to that and focus on that. You know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
also wanted to say, like, imagine if you bust it down, it's like I'm a genie. You know what I mean? I am a genie. So it's like our imagination is really our creative power. You know what I mean? So
Yep, yep.
yeah, that's it.
Hey, imagination. That's the only creative power. That is the only transforming power in man is the mind. He calls it imagination, but he's talking about your mind. Yep, yep. That's it. That's your creative power. The creator that the Bible is talking about is the mind. That's God. You're looking for God. That's why God never leaves you nor forsakes you. That's why it's with you all days, with you always, even to the end of your days. Because what you never, I don't care what you end up losing in life, you'll always have your mind. You may not remember your name. You may not remember where you are, because I know there are people that experience, Alzheimer or dementia, but they still know that they exist. They know that they are, even if they don't know their name, even if they don't know how old they are or what place they're in, even if they're remembering times that have gone past, they know they exist. So you'll always have your mind. You can never lose that. Hey, 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 A-Town, unmute. Welcome, welcome.
What it do? What it do?
Mm, how are
Peace and
you?
abundance. Excellent, excellent. Peace and abundance to the live.
Peace and abundance.
Some good stuff. I dropped in a little late. Had to handle some family business, but
Okay, okay.
glad we're definitely rolling. And what I was able to hear was definitely resonating. I love this chapter. Mind you, I love the whole book, but I'm just gonna kind of like comprise just some gems that I kind of got that I want to share. So. Neville kind of already preluded us in chapters 1 and 2 in regards to just our tools that we have, right? In terms of just ensuring that we're knowledgeable of just what this life is and who we are. And so we have to understand that, you know, um, you know, it just boils down to one being what is transformed mean. The whole basis of your thoughts must change, right? So but it said you got to have new ideas. And I notice like sometimes where people will be, well, this is this and this is that. Well, just have a new idea, right? It's just being able to change your idea about what it is, and that itself in itself will change. um the first step is renewing the mind is desire, right? So I know people, and when I say people, I mean me, but I'm just kind of generalizing it, where people get stuck in a thought, and you can see based on their conversation, they are stuck in a thought where they cannot observe a new desire. And I love how, um, you know, um, how T well, what do you want? Right? No, no, no. Well, what do you want? Right? I know what it is, or I know what you're prescribing it to be, but what do you want? Right? And so what do you want is just basically a desire. It's just basically what do you really want? And, and I guess people kind of get stuck, or I know myself did, where it was kind of like, okay, for myself, can I really have this, right? Is this worth me getting? Because I used to be stuck in a worst case scenario, right? Where we're always looking for the danger of, we're always trying to protect ourselves. And it's not wrong. That's the naturality of life, as far as our brain is conceived, but the fact that our imagination can override that. So I love that part where all we have to do is have a desire. And I perceive my desire to be God, right? In terms of, I praise my desires. You know what I'm saying? I adore my desires. And I just kind of like go into it and don't stop. Right, because your desires feed upon desires, feeds upon your desires, feeds upon your desires. The opposite of that is the worry, is the fear, the worry, and you know what I'm saying. And so, if you're worried, if you fear, what's your desire, right? Step into the desire room, and that's just another different state of mind. Um, so it says, by desiring to be other than what you are, you can create an ideal of the person you want to be, and assume that you already that person, right? So, and time is of not a construct. You know what I'm saying? Let's just kind of get that out the way. Where, if it says, that you already are that person. So I think Toy had mentioned on I think earlier this week, where once you assume, you're just going to walk into it. It's going to be you're not going to be almost surprised, because you already had the desire. The seed was already planted. What else? Like I highlighted, man. I got my highlight went crazy on this one. Um, so you're conscious. You must be conscious of being healthy if you are to know what health is, right? You must be conscious of being secure if you are to know what security is. Therefore, to incarnate a new and greater value of yourself, right? So all we're doing with that desire is creating a better us, and getting the idea, tapping into that energy, that is, absolutely synergetic escalade. Yeah, you already know, James. um, and so, and also, I'm a definitive type of person. I like, and James too. Where we like to really bring definition to words, and because words have true meaning. And if you want to understand what redeem is, definitely look it up, right? Because when it says imagination is the only redemptive power in the universe, it's really deep, because whatever that yesterday was, whatever that yesteryear was, whatever that yesterday life was, you're able to redeem it by your imagination. Toya said, where I was, and of course I'm gonna mention, refer to Toya, but where she was like, well, revise it. And I'm like, what, revise? How? No, it didn't happen that way. You know what I'm saying? Where, we tend to fight certain things. Man, if you just revise that thing, you know what I'm saying? No, and I think Toya mentioned it earlier this week. I was never broke. And, my mind wanted to be like, oh, shit. Okay, me either. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't broke either. You know what I mean? I was never broke. I was never abandoned. I was never, whatever these things are that we want to hold on to. We was never that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just flat out, we was never that.
I
We
don't
had
know
love.
her. I don't know her.
Exactly, exactly. You know what I'm
In the
saying?
words of
Like,
Mariah Carey, I don't know her.
yeah. Oh yeah, I love that. That's a me, right? Right. You know what I mean? And that's the power that we have, y'all. That's the power that we have to revise everything, anything and everything we want to be. And it's super dope, because we're able to really tap into our God likeness. You know what I'm saying? That's the God in us. That's the confidence that we can roll around with. You know what I mean? That's our tools. That's your peace. That's your pew pew. That's your, to whatever life target that you want to hit, is your desires and our imagination. Um, and getting a better self concept of yourself. I love how Mia, she shares her situation, right? She did shed a tear, you know what I'm saying? A little dribble, dribble, tear, tear. But guess what? She had to, put her chest out there. You know what I'm saying? No, I do got the job. I do got the man. I do got the woo woo woo. And she came out next week. Hey y'all, I gotta share it. You know what I mean? And so, and again, time was of no constraint. You know what I mean? Because she had the juice, right? She just had to realize it. You know what I mean? She had to have the desire, and she had to have the wherewithal, the self concept. You know what I'm saying? She knew who she had, and she's smart, she's brilliant. You know what I'm saying? She probably had the education, the accolades, or whatever. But even so, even without that, it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? You can be that based off your desires. I think I'll stop there because yeah. So whatever we want, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's popping. It's up. You know what I mean? Up and stuck.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yep. Your desire is a gift from you to you. That's all it is. It's a gift. It's a gift from God. And since you're God, it's a gift from you to you. That's it. Cheryl, did you want to add something to chapter 4?
I really like the part that really kind of stood out that talked to me, which it kind of goes back to the self-concept, is it says, there is no escape for you except by a radical psychological transformation of yourself. And that really stuck out to me because you talked a little bit ago about, the naturalness of, embodying the desire or the wish fulfilled. And, I realized like lately, about a year and a half ago, I started this like dog sitting side hustle. And, I make good money at it. And what I realized was I never really knew what it felt like not to struggle financially. So sometimes, like when I was trying to embody, abundance, I was more comfortable in the struggle part. Like I didn't really know what it felt like. And, so, that part really stood out because I think sometimes like it's, for me, it's just I have to keep plugging away. I have to keep trying because I don't always know, like I know what I want in my life, but I don't always understand what it means to embody that in a way that I can be consistent with it because I almost feel like a rubber band. Like I'll spend, my morning like good self-talk, imagining this. And then before I know it, I've kind of contracted back to that old self. So, just for me, like it just really hits home like that self-concept because, and then, in another paragraph down, he says, everything depends on your attitude towards yourself. That which you will not affirm as true for yourself can never be realized. And that attitude alone is the necessary condition. And so, yeah, I just really think a lot about how I had a lot of desires, but, I was really caught up. Like, I'm 60 and I grew up, with a single mom who, we had a lot, like I got ingrained in me, like life was hard, struggle, and then, I had 3 kids of my own and, we did okay, but it was always like still had that mindset. And I just realized like that really had me trapped for a long time and I needed a radical psychological transformation and I'm finally
Yeah.
getting it. So,
Yes, that's beautiful.
so I'm so grateful for everyone sharing. I
Yeah.
learn a lot here. I feel like, I feel like we've all manifested you,
And
So,
I manifested you.
so
I
it's great.
how Abraham he said co-creation at its best, right?
Right.
We're all in this together. We're all doing this together. Yep. And yeah, the money game, that's why I like that we talked about. That was one of the other was that the last book we read, right? Busting loose from the money game, understanding that there is no laws to making money, there are no rules to getting money. You're only constricted or confined by your perception of it, right? So it's just about, got to get out of ourselves of thinking it has to be this way. It must go this way. It must happen this way.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to add, this was all new to me too. I didn't realize I was doing this, but I came to Neville like when my daughters were in college. So like, I was trying to manifest money, but I always had like these deadlines, tuition was due or whatever. And it was just recently where I'm actually enjoying like I realized I always was trying to control the outcome, like and then when it didn't happen, because I was so like stressed about it, then I felt like a failure,
Right.
because I could never manifest money or, but now it's like I don't have, like, I have this dog sitting job, money's coming easier. And it's like, it's really changed like the whole psychological concept of it all, that it really, I was really doing it all the wrong way. But better late than never.
Well, again, even then, you could look at it from a different perspective. You were learning what not to do, not necessarily wrongness but just experience. You experimented with what works, right? And then you just recognize that doesn't work.
Right. And I mean, I do feel like that. Like it's, I was never going to give up on this. Like been doing it for 10 years. I'm like, I accepted that I manifest everything. So I was going to die trying.
Yep. What 50 Cent say? That's what 50 Cent say. Get rich or die trying, right? I'm gonna get rich. I'm gonna die trying to get rich. Hey, so I'm gonna have to give, as Jacob told Angel, I ain't letting you go till you bless me. Sure, I was like, I ain't letting this go until it blesses me. So that's how it goes. You can unmute Mia.
Oh yeah, I didn't have too much on this chapter because I was ready to dig into chapter 5. I was
Oh.
done. Them audiobooks take you through there. So but I love what they said about desires, about you having to kind of embody and be who you need to be to kind of get the thing that you want. And that's kind of a struggle for everybody, or just a lot of people, to get that part correct. And I like what A-Town said, it's not the piece of papers, the degrees, whatever you have. It's the energy behind it. It doesn't even matter how you look. Because if you don't believe you that person, if you don't believe you got it, it don't matter what you got.
Don't matter.
You got to know, you got to have the energy behind it, because that is what puts you in place to get it. That is what convinces the 3D. You know what I'm saying? Because I like how you talked about how you will start seeing confirmation. Like you have to be in that state of almost delusion of audacity of knowing who you are, and all of your mirror will start showing you, right? Like, yeah, duh, I told you, But if you're like, I don't understand. I went to school, I got this degree, I'm certified for this. Why won't anyone give me a chance? Why won't this happen for me? Well, do you believe you? You know what I'm saying? Are you walking with your chest out? Are you walking in who you are already? Is it already yours? Or are you just out there hoping that someone gives you a chance? If you're hoping that someone gives you a chance, you already lost.
Say that. That's
So
it.
I just want,
You gotta
you have
take
to.
your chance. You gotta take it. You gotta claim it.
You walk around, it's already yours. You just waiting for the call, and you ain't worried about when it's coming.
That part.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that little part.
Yeah, I think about my favorite football team. My favorite football team, the Bears. And so when you listen to like the quarterback, Caleb Williams, when he talks, they talk about belief, right? They talk about believing, right? Because no one saw the Bears in this place, right? They gave them 2 years. They thought this would happen next year, right? And everyone's describing their season as a magical season, almost like a mystical season, right? Because that defense that everyone talks about should not have them in the second round of the playoffs. And so I thought about, they have their little lingo of good, better, best, never let it rest until the good gets better and the better gets best. But here's the thing, the caveat to that. The belief in themselves catapulted them past whether they were good enough or not. It wasn't about if they were good enough, because their defense, being one of the lowest ranked defenses in the league, would say they shouldn't be there. But what put them there? Belief. They say we just believe in ourselves. We just know if the game is close, if we're within 2 scores in the fourth quarter, you better watch out, because here we come. We got Iceman Caleb. We believe in this quarterback. We don't care what happened 3 quarters. It only takes 1. Because the game don't end after the third quarter. The game don't end until after the fourth quarter. And if we tied, it goes into the fifth quarter, right? Into overtime. And he said, even if I gotta tie you up in that fourth, I'm gonna take you to the next. And then either somebody gonna win or somebody gonna tie. But we know that we don't have that in the playoffs. Ain't no tying in the playoffs. But I just love like that. Just like I think that's why I identify so much with sports, because sports is all about believing in yourself, believing, not being tunnel vision, not caring about what the next player doing or what that player doing. It's about, what am I doing? Who am I being? How do I see myself in this situation? Do I believe in me? It's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it. Hello, Anna. You came back up.
Yeah, I chime back in.
Yes,
I gotta
yes.
go. I'm in and out all over the place. But I did a conference not too long ago because I was talking to the father about, just how we process our day to day. And he took me to Genesis, and he took me throughout a walk of Genesis where in Genesis it talks about the imagination of man's heart. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Genesis 6. And he said, when he seen the imagination of man's heart, he said everything that man could think about was wicked. And so when we think about the things that we encounter and the things that we develop processing the information each and every day, because everybody wants to be a star. But when we think about how high we have to go in order to reach the stars, we limit ourselves sometimes out of fear. And so, with that being said, if you study Genesis 6 and you walk through the imaginations of man's heart, and like Brother Royal was saying um about the scripture that says, you know, he needs us to come back to him as humble as a child. And so, true enough, the scripture says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, but now that I'm grown, you know what I'm saying? Now that I'm older. But that does not mean that we have to change the things that really took a real process when it came to how we feel in our hearts. And so when we apply these things a certain kind of way, it helps us develop a better relationship with ourselves and a better relationship with the people who we encounter. Because there's also a scripture in the Bible that says, be careful of those you entertain, because you could be entertaining angels. So, like you said earlier, whether it's good or bad, we just have to be careful.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't really get into the Bible discussion, because although this author does use the Bible as reference, a lot of the scripts in his book, all of his writings are biblically based. However, we see the Bible from a psychological perspective, not as a history book, but as a book of instruction of the mind and how the mind works. So even though the Bible may be talking about people on the outer, it's only talking about the characteristics of the mind on the inner. So there is no out there, there's only in here. When we look at people, we're not seeing them, we're seeing our assumptions of them. Your world is you pushed out, and your world is a magnified mirror of your belief system. And so so this book is reminding us that if you want your world to be different than you was, as Aton reminded us, have new ideas. You have to choose to think differently about how you're seeing and viewing your world, because your world is only going to reflect you back to you. It's only going to confirm your belief system, no one else's. And a lot of people want to struggle against that and fight against that and think that they can change the outer without changing the inner. But that's what the Bible says, that when you try to build from the outer, you build in vain. You have to build inside out, not outside in. Unless the Lord builds the house, and where's the house? The mind. They that build in vain. So unless you're building from the inside out, you're going about it in vanity. It's a fruitless effort, because you can't change anything from the outside. All change begins within, and it comes from having the power of awareness. And so we have Dorier on the panel.
Good day.
Hello, how are you?
Good day, Toyia. Speak your speech. Anyway, I like the power. I was just thinking, I'm on this TikTok, and they be like, "Yeah, people don't read, don't read." I'm like, "That's not true." And then last night I was like, "Oh, let me hurry up and get this book and hurry up and read it before the book class." But anyway, I'm on the chapter with desire, and what sticks out to me is that is, you must assume the feeling of the fulfillment of your desire until you are possessed by it. And this feeling crowds all other ideas out of your consciousness. And the man who is not prepared for the conscious plunge into assumption of the wish fulfilled and the faith that is the only way to the realization of his dream is not yet ready to live consciously by the law of assumption. So I said all that to say that I didn't know that the transformation, because I'm like, oh yeah, it's all about your thoughts, but that you have to, you have to not just imagine, but you have to have those feelings and let those feelings of the wish, overwhelm you until it's a reality. So that this desire is a good chapter. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yes, yes, yes.
And yeah.
Oh, okay, I was just about to send a message to Anna. Anna, I'm gonna drop you to bring someone up that has because we're gonna discuss chapter, we're discussing the book. So I'm gonna bring someone up that wants to discuss the book. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for coming up. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So if anyone else wants to come up that wants to discuss the book, you're welcome. We have 2 spots available. Yes, desire. Gigi, did you have anything to say on desire? And then after that, we'll go to my secret level up, see if she had anything to say on desire.
Yes. I really, really like this chapter. The part where he says, "For an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." It reminded me of something that I saw on an interview of Lady Gaga. This was like when she first kind of came out. She was being interviewed, and she just said that she kept telling herself what everybody would perceive as a lie. But she says if you can persist on that lie becomes true. And when you persist on the new idea or ideas of yourself, even though it may seem false, if you persist in it, it becomes true. And how he also says the ideal you seek and hope to attain will not manifest itself, will not be realized by you until you have imagined that you are already that idea. So it's like you just said earlier, T, like if you just, and even he says it in the book, that if you're just talking about it, you're just saying it in vain. But when you begin to embody, imagine that you are that person already, like Mia was saying, the fact that when you walk into a room, because you inside you already are that person, you'll begin to experience that on your 3D world or your outer world. So really everything, like at times they want to make the 3D seem like to be your enemy. I actually changed that concept. I'm like, you're my friend. What am I thinking about? What are you trying to tell me? What's going on? Like at times, like I want to get mad at it. I'm like, and then I'll have a moment. I'll be like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? What's going on? Because you're my friend. You're not my enemy. You love me. You are me. So what are you trying to tell me?
Yeah.
And then I'll have one of those epiphany aha moments. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I have to change that. Okay, where did that thought come from? You know what? I don't care where that thought came from. You need to go. Because, I don't like this. You need to go. We need to rewrite that. And then we stay faithful to the rewrite or the revision. And then you'll begin to see that new revision the moment you become that revision, And the moment you say that you're it. All you're doing is just staying faithful to it, persisting in it, or like I like to say, creating the new neural pathway highway to that new awareness or new destination. Yeah. But he really talks about how imagination is really the key, and that it's all from the inside. It says you must imagine that you are already experiencing what you desire. That is, you must assume the feeling, knowing, acceptance of the fulfillment of your desire until you are possessed by it. And this acceptance, knowing, crowds all of your ideas out of your consciousness. I mean, there were some really powerful gems. I mean, I can stay on this chapter for forever. Seriously. And it was a real awakening to me how you really have to embody and it's okay. I've actually have learned to accept, okay, this has been brought to me now. Okay, I accept it. And every now and then that little thought wants to come in and say, well, why didn't you learn this when you were younger? And I just say to it, you know what? Pardon my French, I don't give a shit. I know it now. So what are we going to do with it now? You little voice, you little naggy little voice. I'm like, bing, go away. Go away, go. Why are you in this party? I didn't invite you. Go. Anyway, what are we going to do about it now, Gigi? Let's have some fun with it. And the moment I just even, at times even just don't even give it any attention, I'll just say, what are we going to do with it now? Because we know this now. Yay! It just goes away on its own.
Yes.
So it's like you really, as you're starting to take inventory of your old thoughts that don't serve you anymore, and you're evicting them, you're sending them away, and sometimes they don't want to go, but that's okay. You stay with the new one. If you know. And yeah, I mean, it's like brought like this childlike I like I'm using my imagination more, and I'm having totally a good time with it. And it brings like the childlike thing. You know, it is so true that it says we are supposed to come to God like as children. We're supposed to be children. We're making believe. To make believe is, you know, it's you're making that belief. To pretend is the preview to the new end. Yeah. So it all serves you. Yeah. You know.
Yes.
So yeah. I awakening. That's all I gotta say. I love this chapter. Love it.
Yes. Thank you, Gigi. So we'll go to my secret level up, and then after that we'll go to Key.
Okay, so again, I've been taking this content in for over 20 years, and it really didn't stick until most recently. But I would, I would still indulge, consistently indulge in it, and it just really didn't click. And the reason it wasn't clicking is because I would read it, but I just couldn't take it in because I didn't realize that I was a visual learner until here recently. So if I would listen to the audiobooks, I would read the books, and it just didn't make sense. And it didn't make sense until I watched Inventing Anna. So for those of you who may be struggling with taking in the content, whether you're reading it or just hearing the audiobook, watch Inventing Anna on Netflix if you have time, if you have not watched it. They did a really fantastic job of her embodying what it was that she wanted to become, and she became that. And also, it is a true story. So you also can look up her background. I think her real name is Anna Delvey. But outside of that, I wanted to go in and propose an assignment because the third paragraph, therefore, make results or accomplishments the crucial test of your ability to use your imagination. Everything depends on your attitude towards yourself, that which you will not affirm as true. But yeah, if you go ahead and just like make that a homework assignment. Okay. Is this room kids? But yeah, but that's really all I have for y'all, honestly.
Oh, appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. Yep, that's it. So yeah, so you have to understand what resonates with you. So if visually seeing it makes it real to you, then do what's necessary to bring about that confirmation in your world, in your reality, because there is no wrong or right. Hey, Cash. Hey, buddy. Go ahead, Key. You can unmute.
Okay. Hey, Dorier said a line before she dropped off, and I won't read the whole thing, but I had to read this line like 10 times to get what Neville was saying. I'm like, what? But paraphrase. He just said, the man who is not prepared for the consciousness plunge into the assumption of the wish fulfilled. And then he said, is not yet ready to live consciously by the law of assumption. He said, not yet ready. Not, that just stood out to me. And it hit me because it meant to me that belief requires readiness. And if that old identity is not yet ready to change, your world will not change. So if you're still thinking you have like something to prove, or if you feel you aren't good enough, that old identity will stick around because it has a job to do. And that's to protect your old thought patterns. So when you choose differently, respond differently, or most importantly, stop replaying and rehearsing them old stories. Because why are you rehearsing an old story if that's not who you are anymore? So I just so that was just something that hit me like because I rehearse old stories. Like and
Mm.
it's on autoplay. It's not it's I don't know who that is rehearsing those old stories because it's not me. But that means that, oh, that's a signal. I'm not ready. Because why am
Mm.
I still rehearsing that?
Mm.
So just
Love
wanted
it.
to say that. Okay.
Oh,
Gonna
beautiful,
drop.
beautiful. But if it's not you, then who is it?
It's me. I'm being funny.
Oh, okay. Because you know people be
Oh,
like, "That's not me. That's
oh
not
no.
me." And I'm like, "Then who is it?"
Oh no.
Oh, yeah,
That's
you
not
split yourself in two. It's two of you. Oh, okay. How many personalities you got? You got 10? You got 50? How many personalities you got there?
that's
You know,
all me.
I'm just
You get me, you get me.
I do. I want to read this statement. It says, to reach a higher level of being, you must assume a higher concept of yourself. If you will not imagine yourself if you will not imagine yourself as other than what you are, then you will remain as you are. Hey, Insight. You can unmute. How are you?
Hello,
And then we'll go to
Prosperous.
Royal after you. Go ahead.
Good day, Prosperous. I'm impeccable. Um,
Amazing.
so I love the chapter. I didn't get to get it all, but we're never really off center. We're always on point. Um, and you I already know you will get this just from the song "Is Here and Now" by Luther Vandross. I vow to be one faithfully. You can't see the faith, but it is there. You're all I need, which really is saying I am all I need. You sing it to yourself.
Yes.
Sing here and now to yourself, and it puts you in the center. It puts you on the spot of what the force is, and then you don't want to name it because a name is a label. That's whatever Goddard's talking about. I don't even know what else. Really, there's nothing else to say.
Ooh, yes, yes. It's in the songs, y'all. It's in the songs. Yes, here and now. Go to make a vow to yourself. Yes,
If it,
that was a very popular wedding song back in the day.
that means if you sing that to yourself, you couldn't have an enemy because you would talk to the enemy, and you would be that light in the dark, and then insight you would see. And I'll stop.
Ooh, love it. Love it. Ooh, yes, yes. Royal, did you have anything to say on chapter 4?
Yeah, I think it's one of the last things he was saying. He said, if you don't imagine yourself other than you are, you stay the same. For if ye believe not that I am he, you shall die in your sins. So I thought that was powerful. Of course, back in the day when we were in religion, you thinking you about to die in your sins, go to hell and all
Yeah,
that, but
yeah,
it just makes sense. Like, nah, you gonna stay the same, and that is, missing the mark, right?
yeah. Yep,
So
yep.
I just thought that was powerful. Yeah, that's all though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, thank you. Yep, if you don't change, you get to remain the same. In order to be different, you have to accept it. And here's the thing about different, right? And say, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my top missing something, whatever. I'll be messing up them words. I'm messing up those lyrics, so don't. But if the different is about accepting the true you, right? Because your old story is not the true you. It's the you that you've already experienced and you decided I don't want to be that no more. But how much do you not want to be it? How much are you tired of being poor, depressed, unsuccessful, feeling unwanted, feeling like how tired are you of that identity? Because you know your awareness is unconditioned, right? And then you being the unconditioned condition itself. I am that I am. The unconditioned has decided that it is this condition. So what condition do you find yourself in? What condition are you willing to identify with? Right? Because that's all this life is about, identification. Who do you say that I am? See, so many people want to tell you about what you're not. I'm here to talk about what you are. I don't care about what you're not. You should not care about what you're not. You should only care about what I am. Who do I say that I am? That's all. That's where the mind should be. That's where your awareness should be. Who do I say that I am? Because everybody want to talk about, oh, you're not the ego, you're not your thoughts, you're not this, you're not that. Then who the hell are you then? Because that's all that matters. Who do you say that I am? You get to condition the unconditioned. You get to define that which is undefinable. You get to name the nameless. Remember, you're the operant power. Whatever you say it will be, that's what it shall be. Right? God told Adam, whatever you call it, whatever you name it, oh, that's what it's gonna be called. Whatever however you define it, oh, that's what it shall be. So how are you defining it? Because there's no good or bad. Only your thinking makes it so. Hey, Lux Vision, how are you?
I am. Well, thank you. And you know you're talking about my favorite freaking subject right now. This
Yeah.
is my dude. Neville, with the desire thing, one of the things that Neville has said repeatedly is first you must know what you desire. And he goes on to say most people don't know what they want because the moment you ask them what they want, they immediately go into what they don't want instead of what they actually do want. And that's the key factor to this. What Neville is literally doing with telling you all the things that he's telling you is how to regulate your nervous system. So you assume that identity so intensely that it's your new baseline normal. You're thinking from it. You're no longer thinking of it. You're literally thinking from the identity of the person who has whatever that desire may be. And once you start to really allow yourself to feel it as your new normal, that's when your reality immediately shifts to that because now you have established it as your baseline. So everything he's telling you is with the idea of you assuming that this new identity that you took on is you because you already are the person you want to be. Just like with my mother was told repeatedly, you can't be a nurse because you have an issue with seeing family members' red liquid come out of them. And she would freak out if she saw it come from herself. But my mother assumed the identity of being a registered nurse so powerfully that it had to come because it was inevitable in her because that was her true identity.
Right.
And that's all these techniques Neville is giving you is about. He was saying, unless you can truly assume that identity, it doesn't matter what's going on the outside of you. As long as you're not assuming it on the inside, your outside reality has to match the reality that's on the inside of you. So that's why he's constantly telling you go within, because that's all this work is. Everything is about assuming the identity of the person who has it. And it works 100% of the time. Even when you think it's not working, it is because it's being based off of what you assume to be true for you. And I love that. That's why I love The Power of Awareness. That was one of the first books of his I've read.
Absolutely. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. Yes, I know that That nervous system regulation is making its rounds for whatever. It's like when we find something, a new trigger, a new word, we like, it's just, I just like, just make a decision and stick to it. Because that's all he's saying. Decide what you want
Absolutely.
and stop doubting yourself. Stop wavering. Stop
And
trying to
stick
say
to
how I feel because because here's the thing with the nervous system regulation. The moment you feel tension, the moment you feel unease, like, oh, I'm out of alignment. Bullshit. Not out of alignment. God don't get out of alignment. God is expanding. That's all that's happening.
mm-hmm,
Can't be unaligned. You're aligned with something. You may not like what you're aligned to, but you're aligned to
mm-hmm.
something. You're never out of alignment. Impossible. You may not like what you're aligned to, but you can never be out of alignment. You just don't like what
Correct.
you're
I
aligning
don't
yourself to. The world aligns to you, not you to it. And that's what, again, you trying to work outside in. You trying to fix the outside and make the inside match the outer. That ain't how it happens. The outer
nope.
automatically matches the inner. So if you don't like the outer, the inner must change. And all you
That's
got to
why
do is make a decision. That's all you got to do. Stop self-diagnosing yourself. We love to talk about a problem. And so what's the new problem? Your nervous system ain't regulated. That's the new problem. You ain't came up with a new diagnosis. Everybody got a new dis-ease now. Always got a new
no,
dis-ease. Always want to self-diagnose. Ain't nothing wrong with God. Stop saying there's something
absolutely
wrong with
not.
God. There's nothing wrong with God. Nothing.
Absolutely not. But that's why I said it has to be your new normal because the whole thing about all of
But
this
saying it's not your
is
new normal
never
is saying there's something to fix and there's nothing to fix. There's only to be. It is your normal. It is your normal.
right.
This is your normal. Just assume the position. Stop trying to figure out how to be and just be. You're too busy trying to make it so when it's already so. You're trying to figure out what's wrong when there's nothing wrong. That's the problem. You're making a problem is the problem. You're finding a problem. That's the problem. There is no problem. There is no problem. The fact that you say it is makes it one. Stop saying it is and it won't be one. So simple. But we want to complicate it because we want to fix
Hmm.
something. We think there's something wrong because it's too simple to just accept. It's too simple for me to give you the gift and you to accept it. So you got to find a problem with it. You got to be suspicious about it. You got to, why are you giving me a gift? What you want from me? Oh, you just give me a gift? Oh, no, people just don't give stuff for free. People just don't give you something for free. No, you must want something from me. No, it's a trick to it. What you trying to do? What's going on? That ain't how it work. Don't nothing come for free. I got to work for this. I got to struggle for this. I got to figure out what's wrong with this.
Hmm. But like Neville said, it will become so natural to you that you will believe that your manifested reality was inevitable to begin with. That you won't even recognize your own creation once you get it into your system to the point where it's natural to you. You'll
Yep.
just assume that even the fact that you created it, that it was going to happen anyway, with or without you.
Yep. With or without you.
Yeah, that's my song
With
right
or
there.
without you. You guys got to get all your excuses, all of your
Hmm.
reasoning, all of your logic. You just got to just be still.
And if you
Just
want to overcomplicate
feel
it,
and just
just remember,
settle down. That's all you have to do. Just
and remember,
you
row, row your boat.
and you. Yeah.
Remember, row, row your boat. Row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily, life is but a dream.
And what did it say? Gently.
Gently.
Gently, which
Hmm.
means no force, no push, no pull. You're not trying to make a thing so. It's already
Nope.
so. It's already so. That's
The
it.
minute you force it, it works like a circuit breaker. It'll just shut it right on off. The
Yep.
moment you're trying to do something is the moment you lost the plot.
Yep. You gotta, the simplicity is key and we keep missing it. We keep thinking that it can't be this easy. It can't be this easy. So we create problems to
Hmm.
justify getting the blessing. Because we gotta justify. But God justifies you. The good justifies you. That's enough. You don't have to justify to who he calls, he justifies. To whom he calls, he justifies. The moment you said it, it was justification. The moment you chose it was enough. Because you said so, that makes it enough. That's it. That's it.
I love
Alexa,
that.
so Alexa, I'm gonna go to Kevin. Kevin came back up.
Yes. Okay, I'll drop down.
Oh, okay. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Hey Kev, what's going on, sir? How are you?
Hey, good
Afternoon for
afternoon.
you. I
Yeah,
know it's
good night.
afternoon.
It's for me. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm enjoying as I always do. Um, I'm now asking a somewhat rhetorical question. How do you be? And I'm posing that question to any and everybody. We say you can't have it until you become it first. How do you become something that you're already not? So how do you be it? It's rhetorical to me, but how do you do it? People say, well, just be it. Well, how? Now, you don't have to figure out how God's going to take care of it. That part you don't have to worry about. But how do you be
You do not.
that which you already not?
You do nothing. There's nothing to do. There's no how. There is no how. Because you already are. How are you trying to be something you already are? There's no
Ah,
thing as not being a thing.
right
You are
there.
the thing.
The power of awareness. You have to be aware that you have the power to be because you already are. You have to understand who you are. You are whoever you say you are, not later, at that moment. There's no delay. The thing you desire desires you. You don't have to lay and beg and plead and snot and cry for the thing you desire. You just, it's so because you said it's so. The only reason you can't have that what you desire is if you don't believe that you can have it.
So simple, is it not?
Man, you have to learn to get out of your own way so you can have your way. Wow. Who said that? You're not double minded. My daughter's here. Hold on. Yeah, I love how Navigato frames it. It's your imagination. No child needs to be taught how to use their imagination. So why do you feel as an adult that someone has to teach you how to imagine? You can't even enter into the kingdom of God unless you're as a child. Isn't that what script say?
Yeah. Well, you stop, go back to you're not double minded.
I'm sorry?
You said you're not double minded.
No.
Expound upon that.
You're always exercising the power of who you are, whether you're aware of it or not. You're always exercising the power of who you are. Now, if you don't believe you can, you won't. Just like singleness of mind. you what's the word says? A double-minded man shall receive what? Nothing.
Mhm.
Because you hadn't made a decision. How can you receive anything you haven't made a decision on? You can't. You can't receive anything you haven't made a decision on. Now you can make a decision to be broke, to be poor, and then get mad at the decision you made because you are poor and broke.
Mm.
But you're the one that did it. You exercise your power. Just like you have the power to be wealthy. And you ain't got nobody to blame but you. See, the old you has to die. Meaning it can't never have any influence on the new you. Not only can you can't take the old you into the new you, the old you don't want to go. You don't want to be
It don't even want to go.
there.
You trying to put it along. You coming. You trying to kidnap it. Trying to make it come with you. And it's kicking and screaming, saying,
Yeah,
no,
oh, no.
it's like, we ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going
We
nowhere.
ain't going nowhere. So guess what you end up being? Doing? Not going nowhere because you arguing and fighting
Because you're arguing fighting with the old you.
with that old state. You ain't let go of the old state.
Let the dead bury the dead.
Yep. If
You
any
can't be
man be in Christ.
a little bit dead. You die all the way.
Well, that's how you know you're not in Christ, right? Because if any
Mm.
man be in Christ,
Then he is a what?
new creature.
What?
And behold,
What? The old thing of him
has passed away.
is gone.
Dead and
He
gone. Dead and
gone.
gone. I've been traveling on this road too long. Have you been traveling on the road too long that you are ready to be loosed and set free? Like loose and let it go?
Yes. Now here's maybe a revelation to some. You don't change into the pain of not change is more than you can bear. Meaning you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Because if you don't, you ain't gonna change. You're not. You gotta get fed up with you being who you don't want to be. And until that happens, you ain't going nowhere. And you can't cheat. But how you gonna cheat? How you gonna fool yourself? Oh, you can name it
God
and
is
claim.
not mocked.
No. Whatsoever so man soweth, that shall he also reap. You can't cheat your way out of this. You can't slick your way out of this. You can't name it and claim it your way out of this. To thine own self be true. To thy own self.
And it's really about loving yourself enough to want to experience the heaven now. That's really what
That
it's about.
part.
It's not even about being tired of your old state. It's about desiring the new state so much that you want to experience your heaven here and now. That's really what it's about. You know, see it from a place of loving yourself so much, you're not gonna give yourself anything less than the best. You're not going to allow yourself to experience anything else other than success, prosperity, abundance, joy, peace, love, harmony, goodwill towards all. Why? Because all is you. That's the only reason why I say to treat your neighbor as yourself, because your neighbor is yourself. The world is you pushed out.
I can't say it any better than that. It's the
Yep.
first. It's the first commandment.
Yep.
To love God. Who's God? When you say I am, who's the I? Love God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy what? Your mind, your heart. And then after you complete that task, then you can go to the second commandment. But you don't go to the second commandment and then go to the first. You're not qualified to go to the second until you completed the first, which is loving who? You. Loving you.
And loving you is recognizing that you are love.
Yes.
You are love. And so
You
now
don't have to become
you
it.
have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, well, what does that look like to love me?
Right.
Like what does that look like now? Okay, you telling me to love me. Now what does that look like? Because everything that you're wanting someone else to do for you outside of you to show you love, you do it for yourself. That's loving
Absolutely.
you. The thing that you're asking someone else to do. Yeah, but Kevin, I want to get to this last chapter, chapter 5.
Mm-hmm.
So were you able to read the chapter? The truth
Yes.
that sets you free. Did you have any highlights from the chapter?
The truth that sets you free.
Mm-hmm.
What I got out of it is we are the truth that sets ourselves free. See, the slave of the mind is denying yourself of who you are, which keeps you in captivity. Like you said earlier, Toyia, you are unlimited, experiencing a limited situation. You are immortal, experiencing mortality. So
Yep.
that's what I mean. Understand about that.
Yes, yes. So see, Mia wanted to speak on it. I'm gonna go to everyone and see what your thoughts on it. We'll go to Mia next, and then we'll go to Gigi after her.
I love this chapter. I've been waiting, and I took notes this time.
All right, let's get into it.
Just when he talked about the circumstances and all the things that happen to you that come to you are part of your assumptions. And boy, oh boy, that's one of them big hard pills you got to swallow. That's an antibiotic.
Mm.
That's one of them tranquilizers. You're going to have to swallow that pill because all those circumstances that happen to you in life, you're like, dang, I'm getting hit. Who got my voodoo doll this week? You know, you be like, God dang. And you have to understand that those are based off your assumptions, right? And sometimes you be like, why do I feel like I'm under attack in this world? Because you be feeling like you under attack, right? Your thoughts and your beliefs and how your ideology about the world, you are a victim. So
You're a victim.
you getting jumped. So the world is jumping your ass all day because you're a victim. So you're getting treated like one. So you're gonna get jumped all the time, you know? So I loved how, that ownership and that awareness that you have to understand that these circumstances, whatever circumstances is coming to you is based on your assumptions. So you have to really get in control of your mind and those assumptions and just being in control and just exercise your thoughts and making sure that the thoughts that you are creating are lovingly and that they are in line with your thoughts. And you really have to train them and make sure that you focus on those things that you want to come at you. And you know that you create those circumstances for yourself.
You went pause there, Mia. I don't know if Mia got a phone call or not. Oh, okay.
I was trying to read, but they won't let you read. I need a new update TikTok. We need to be able to read at the same time and pull something up when we on a live.
I know, right?
But yes, it's just making sure that you just keep those circumstances. You pay attention to what life is giving you. And I'm always trying to be aware. Yeah, my secret, she tried to do that too. Like, God, I can't even dip over to my notes. I got ADHD. I'm trying to keep my thoughts alive. But yes, I so love this chapter, and how it just really focused on training the mind. And yeah, that's all I have to say for now.
Thank you. Thank you. That was that first sentence that you brought to light. The drama of life is a psychological one in which all the conditions, circumstances, and events of your life are brought to pass by your assumptions. That's it. Go ahead, Gigi.
Yes, I love this chapter too because it's about my new favorite, imagination. Imagine all the people. Yeah. And that's a song about the imagination right there. Look at that. And he kind of gave us a little homework on this chapter. He says, you can attain this mastery by deliberate conscious control of your imagination. You determine your assumption in this way. Form a mental image, a picture of the state desired of the person you want to be. Concentrate your attention upon the feeling, knowing, accepting that you are already that person. First, visualize the picture in your consciousness. Then accept, feel, know yourself to be in that state as though it actually formed your surrounding world. By your imagination, that which was a mere mental image is changed into a seemingly solid reality. And it's true. I mean, you even when I went to church and you would hear people say, oh, that they struggled and that they went through this trial and tribulation and that, but this is all God, this is all God. And, and they'd be pissed off at me because I didn't go through any trial or tribulation. I didn't go through any tough time. I was like, no. Okay. I said, you're God. This is when I was, a Christian. Mm-hmm. I said, you're God. You didn't put a lot of them people in the Bible through all that bullshit. So you're not going to put me through it either. Not that I'm in Christ Jesus. So it's going to be easy peasy lemon squeezy, just like you did for those people in the Bible. Because I ain't going through none of them tribulations bullshit. I mean, and I would pray just like that. And I never went through it. At first I did because I was focused on, oh my God, this is a trial. Oh, this is a tribulation. Oh, this. But then the moment I stopped thinking that way and started saying, oh no, when I pray, those answers come very easily and lovingly and happy,
Yep.
And it's really, it's like Kev was saying, it's really what you are saying about yourself. And the more you say it, the more you persist in it, the more you create that neural pathway highway, that's what you're going to experience. And, and this chapter kind of slapped me in the face too, when it says, when you understand the redemptive function of your imagination, you hold in your hands the key to the solution of all your problems.
You hold the key
to
the solution.
The key. So not only your imagination, depending on what you're focusing on, is creating the problem, but you also are the key to the solution by simply focusing on the solution, by simply imagining the solution as if the solution already is. That's what I love in the Bible when it says, let the sick say they're healthy. Let the poor say they're rich. Let the weak say they are strong. Because the moment you say it, you are it. The moment you say it, you're it. There's nothing to work for. There's nothing to struggle for, and I get it. When we are adding new ideas, new thoughts, or planting new seeds, and you kind of get that feeling that I call it the jolt. That's just God. That's just the God in you expanding. And somebody said that earlier, and I like it. I'm adopting that. I'm like, that's just the God in me expanding. That's not rejection. That's no that I'm not in alignment. That's just the God in me expanding. That's just it. Yeah. That's just the growth. Okay. That's just the power. I got the power.
Yeah, and we try to make the power wrong. I ain't supposed to be feeling like, like how in the pharmaceutical world they made pain wrong. So that's why people got addiction to prescription drugs, right? To medication, because they were told you ain't supposed to feel no pain. Do you know it's wrong for you to feel pain? They made it a vital sign.
Yeah.
They made it a vital sign and said, how bad does it feel? And based on how bad you say it feels, determine how much how much of those milligrams you were going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, pain is there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because it causes you to what? It alerts you to what? Shift.
Yep.
Right? That's how you know that you need to move around some and reorganize. That's all. We got to stop looking for problems and see life just as an experience.
Exactly. Well, it's like when you start a new exercise program, the first time you do a sit up or a push up, you're not going to be like Rocky doing it with one arm, At first but
Yes.
becomes a habit, you train. And that's all you're doing with your imagination. You're just your new you is becoming a habit. You're training it. That's it.
Yes, I
So
like how Mia
if you're
said, yes, pain is a signal, not a symptom.
yeah,
Thank you, Mia. You said it
exactly.
so eloquently. Yep, that's what I was trying to say, and Mia just cleaned it up for me. It's not a
Yes, she did.
symptom, it's a signal. It's an alert. It signals you. Yes.
Yes,
That's
Mia. So don't be afraid to speak new words or new phrases. And if you get that feeling, that's okay. Let it be there. Let it be. Like the song, let it be. Just let it be. And stick with it. Do it deliberate. Stick with it. And the more you stick with it, the more you are deliberate with, the more you hang on to it, then you'll, before you know it, it just pops up right in your reality. Yeah, I loved this chapter. This is another one I can talk about forever.
Nice. So we'll go to
Thank you.
yes, thank you. We'll go to Cheryl, then we'll go to A Town, and then Royal.
This chapter for me, it was kind of like, for me, like where the rubber meets the road. I liked at the end where he talks about, our thoughts basically and our feelings. We're either spending, like if our thoughts are currency, we're either spending or investing. And I realized like through this, this is why like finding you, over the summer was so helpful to me, because I feel like, I was kind of trapped in these patterns of thinking, and knowing that, I needed to change them, to kind of move beyond them. And then, you shared like how you pray, like your way of praying every day is you talk to yourself for a couple hours, and then there was that gentleman, I think his name was Alan, that was on a few months back, where he talked about all the things he loves. And, and it just kind of like, okay, I can take that and I can do something with that, to kind of reprogram my thoughts. And so, reading this chapter is just such a reminder, like, and I love how you remind us that we really don't have to do anything. I just have to stop a thought that I'm spending and then invest again. And it's been like, that's been a really gentle process, like hearing how other people do it, because I think I was a lot more critical. And I think you pointed out last week how Neville says something about like, in an uncritical way, we notice what our self-concept is. And so I think I was like really, I saw how much I was really judgmental and harsh on myself, especially because I'd been doing this for a long time or had this awareness and I wasn't having all the results that I wanted. I was really seeing myself more as a failure. And, but the last few months, I've just realized, I've been having these shifts that are helping me understand, like, what it's saying, what it means, and then having the experience of what it feels like to have money where I'm not, worried about it. Like, oh, it feels relaxing, consistency is key. What am I consenting to and I have to be really mindful of my thoughts. And that was another reason I really was appreciative of finding you, is because, a lot of this stuff I was already like, becoming aware of like how I really needed to let go of my limitations. And I just love how you kind of call us out when we're attached to them, because I do have to, like Kevin said, that you have to die to that old way of thinking. And there's still parts of me that are like clinging to it sometimes, like. So, yeah, it's really, like I said, where the rubber meets the road here, and really changing my self-concept and self-love, talking kind to myself, becoming my own best friend, really. And so I really like this chapter, because I can't accomplish any of this without that piece.
Mhm. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the thing is, like when you're talking about the pain and the body with the tension, and the tension is only happening because you're resisting the expansion, right? And so we could just settle into the expansion and let it be. Let it do what it's going to do, right? And it is going to take courage, because it may feel from our limited perspective uncomfortable. People describe it as discomfort, right? You say it's painful. When we just reframe it and just say, oh, my body's just expanding. Oh, it's just expansion. I'm gonna let it do what it's gonna do, because it's not out to hurt me. Life is not out to get me. There's nothing out there to trying to hurt me or do harm to me. So all is well. Just let it happen. Let it be. Let it do what you're right. And so but because we have been so conditioned to, but this is wrong. I shouldn't be feeling this way, but this is wrong. There's this, it's something outside of me trying to get me. There's something outside of me trying to make me feel this way or do this harmful thing to me. Even when people talk about their mystical experiences, a lot of times you hear people talk about it from a negative perspective, as opposed to the most amazing thing that they've ever experienced. You mostly hear some people talk about it. It's a psychosis or a psychotic, or they lost their mind, right? As opposed to my mind opened up. I finally got to see reality for what it is. It was a beautiful experience. It's mostly deemed as negative. And so when we hear that and we find ourselves experiencing that, because we've been programmed and believe that because their experience was that has to be true for everybody. No, that was your experience. That was your conditioning. That's what you met that with that expectation. That doesn't have to be true for everybody. Like when people find a dissolution of marriage, everybody got to tell you, get their 2 cents. Well, people change when it's time to divorce. People act a fool. People do that. That was their experience. You can go away from a separation amicably, right? It doesn't have to be this uproar, this fight, or this back and forth, this push and pull. We make life what it is because of our what? Self-concept. Because of how we're perceiving it. And this awareness is telling you, choose a different reality. Just choose a different reality.
One thing I wanted to say, that I like that you made those points, because you were also really helpful. You say this a lot too. When I would feel a lot of resistance energetically in my body, like when I was trying to change my self-concept, especially early on. And you kept saying, like, almost like, just don't pay attention to that, just to have the right thought, and because I was giving too much focus to the anxiety. Like, again, like that would be like, I was focusing in on the resistance, and now like I just kind of let it go, and I don't even give it attention. And it is lessening.
Yes.
So
Beautiful.
it's really like applying all this stuff.
It really is.
That's really the secret.
That's the secret application.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, A-Town, you have anything you want to add? Then we go to Royal, then Key.
Of course. Yes. Okay, so let's get into it. You determine your assumptions in a way of mental image, a picture that of state desired, um, of the person you want to be. So that just really entails, when you wake up, you got to know you God. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that you are what you say you are. Set your intentions first thing when you waking up. You know what I mean? So you know that your day is set with that same intention in that state. Even going to bed, that state of kin, that's real deep too. Being able to know, and Neville had mentioned in another book. And one thing I like about the power of awareness is, I think this in another book, As a Man Thinketh, where they got these short chapters, but they like so freaking deep. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Packed with power.
so freaking deep. Yeah, they is packed, man, on steroids. So that's number one. Number two is, he says, first visualize, the picture of the picture, first visualize the picture in your consciousness, right? So we have to get a mental image. That is our power. He says, the great secret is a controlled imagination and well-sustained attention. I think Mia had mentioned, and this is something that I live by, where our attention is the currency of God's. You know what I'm saying? And once you're aware, of course, you're not going to know that your attention is not, what you is the exact opposite. And that's why, bringing the attention to, that's why we'll see a lot of, I hate to say millionaires or just successful people, where they're not focused on, what's going to take for them to get there. Right. And I can attest to it. We go with some, you're going to deal with certain challenges. You're going to deal with certain lessons that you have to really overcome. And but your attention is on the goal. Your attention is on what lessons are you able to learn. Your attention is on who the goal for that client, or the goal for your business or your family. Whatever it takes to get there. And not saying we got to do bad stuff, but what it takes to get there, you're not focused on that, because that stuff is going to happen. Life is going to life. However, where we focus our attention on is what we bring into existence. It also goes on to share, by creating the idea with our mental sphere. So that's our weapon. That's our, by default, right? We're equipped with it from birth. We just got to be able to exercise it, be able to work out in the gym with it. And that comes by coming here on Wednesdays, coming here on Saturdays, you know what I'm saying? Digging in terms of being around people collectively, because I swear being in the environment allowed me to really embrace what this really is, hearing the success stories, hearing even the woes, even hearing the people like fighting for their limitations, you know what I'm saying, having to need permission slips. Like, I needed to hear that so I can like resonate, like, oh damn, okay, I see that, you know what I'm saying. I can, not saying that you attach yourself to it, but you're able to really resonate where what you don't want, you know what I'm saying. And I think that's really what a lot of these meetings are good for, where, a lot of these SP meetings, we was teasing back in the day where Toyia was going to come out with she was about to be Professor SP, and get into that bag. But in reality, understanding that you are your SP, right? Once you learn how to really adore yourself, adore your attention, adore your faculties, man, you're gonna get what you want. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get I know SP said you're gonna get what you want. And that SP has no choice but to complement what you're already doing for yourself. And I think that's really, the behind the curtain for the SP conversation is that. Another point I wanted to say, where we had spoke on, we are limited only by our uncontrolled imagination and lack of attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So let's tap into that Limitless, right? The movie that we like, Lucy, those things where there's nothing outside of your spectrum, outside of your accomplishments, outside of your whatever it is that you want. There's nothing untapped. I think Kevin talks about this a lot, where you can tap into, he's had so many examples, in terms of where he didn't have the prerequisites, or he didn't have the access, or he didn't have the camaraderie with the people, but those people came, or he got the bread, or he was able to assume the particular role, or assume access and bank account, you know what I'm saying, the 15,000, whatever, 50,000, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, those things is what we here for, to be able to not only witness it, but also, take heed, so we can also take part in those functionalities of our imagination. So that's my share.
Yes, love it, love it, love it. Absolutely. Oof. Yes, gems just being dropped left and right. I hope y'all picking them up, what they putting down. Go ahead, Roy. You can unmute.
Hey, first of all, that was great, A-Town. That was great. Yeah, like everybody else, I love this chapter. I like how he said you are either a slave or a master to your assumptions. That was powerful. I felt like kind of like what Gigi was touching on, the steps that he gave on becoming a master by deliberate, constant control of your imagination. First, have a mental image of the person you want to be. Concentrate upon that feeling you are already that person. Visualize in consciousness, then feel yourself to be in that state. Like to me, that's prayer. You know what I mean? So I feel like I ain't trying to keep bashing my old Christian ways, but back in the day, I feel like it was more of a slave type thing. You know what I mean? It was more, please God. You know what I mean? Versus like the mastery of it now, and just stepping into that, becoming that, being that, doing that. You know, and like he said this is resting in the Lord. You know, take it from the wish fulfilled.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that was real powerful. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, you help bring, because I was communing with myself this morning, and I
Mhm.
was, because I told you guys that I'm getting a little more traction on my Instagram, on my IG, and so of course I'm getting a lot of Christians come in, because what I'm saying is contrary to what they have been taught regarding the Bible and biblical principles. And so I was thinking about how when they ask or something, when we're taught as a Christian that you're asking here to be in the will of God, right? But the question would always be, well, what's the will of God? And then it was always this mysterious unknowing. Like you wouldn't know if you were in the will of God. Like you're asking for something, hoping you'll get it, hoping that it's in the will, but not really certain or knowing. So you were always in limbo with your desire, with your prayer. You were hoping that God was somehow in his mind, if he ain't too busy, he'll stop by your doorstep and answer your call, right? He'll answer your prayer if he felt so desired to do so. And you kind of like left like, man, I hope God, did I fast enough? Did I, then let me do this 21-day Daniel fast. Let me do this 72-hour fast. Always trying to bargain with God. If you give me this, then I'll stop doing that. If you give me this, then it was always a bargain. It was always and it was just like, man, but the Bible tells you what the will of God is. For it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. All the promises of God are yes and amen. I mean, he said that all that I have already belongs to you. Because all that I have is thine. And so we question the will of God when he already told us what the will was. So it's just like, that's how you know that there was a disconnect there. A
Right.
disconnect.
Right.
Thinking that we
Yeah.
have to bargain, right? Because it was always later. Even though the script tells you now is the kingdom of God, religion tells you, no, 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 no. It's a later thing.
Right.
The later thing, it don't come now. Even though the script says it's now. It's like, you got to get this out there. You got to wait till the second coming. You got to wait till the second, the next, the resurrection. You got to wait till the rapture before you can get this thing.
I forgot what comedian it was, but he was like, "Man, church is the best hustle." He was like, "They selling you something right now that you pay for right now, and you don't receive it until after you die. He's like,
Yep.
so you can't get no refund on that."
Man, such a thankful for the revelation, for the awakening. And again, not here to, I know religion is a system, right? It's a system of limitation. That's all it is. We built these constructs of limitation because it helped us to forget who we truly were. And that was the whole point of coming into this third dimensional plane, is to forget in order to experience not being who we are and then awaken within that experience. So we can just be thankful that we woke up in a dream. Whew, whew, true child.
I
We
think it was
woke up.
beneficial too. You know what I mean? Yeah, because we got
Like,
to see the other side. We got to see the other side. You know
yep,
what I mean?
yep, yep,
And now,
yep,
like
yep.
we're all
So
awakening
it's
to
not
the
about
truth.
condemning them, right? And saying, because we used to be them. So I really
Right.
can't fault you for thinking the way you think. I used to think that way. right? I'm just glad I don't have to think that way no more.
Hey, but look, at the
Right.
beginning of this, I was feeling like Christ. I was like, I gotta save everybody. Like, I was
But the
feeling like
Christ
I
wasn't
gotta.
about saving others, it was
Right.
about saving self,
So
right?
it's all
Yep.
self. Yep.
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 That's how we start off. We still have that savior complex, right? We still want to put on that cape and we want to be Superman and Captain America, right? We
Yep.
starting to be Iron Man and Hercules. Right? We think we supposed to say, nope. Do you want here to save nobody? Don't save them. They don't want to be saved. Don't save them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even want. The world shows you don't want to be saved because you're telling them they're
Hmm.
God and they're saying, "No, I'm not."
Yeah, they'll fight you. Yeah, they'll fight you.
So you and
Tooth and nail.
so even though I'm sending the call out, I'm in the wilderness as John sending out the call. I know it's only for those who can hear. The call is not going. It's going to everybody, but on what a few are. Many are called, but only a few are chosen. Only a few gonna hear this, and that's okay, because that's just the way it is. We're here to have this world of duality with the world of unity, right? You say you in the world, but not of the world, right? It's just, and sometimes I question like, why is it like why? Sometimes I do be like, why? Why do people have to suffer the traumatic, go through being, the physically and mentally traumatized? Like
Man,
it
I
do
had looked
seem a
because
little bit, and then I have to be like, okay, I have to come
I was
back to
talking to my
myself.
cousin. I was talking to my cousin, and she was like, "Yeah, we got to suffer." I was like, "You know what? This
Yep,
conversation done because
yep.
that's it. If that's where you at with it, then
Yep,
I'm
that
not
like you
about
just
to
said,
fight
because
back."
we chose, so we had to stop thinking that it happened to us, but that we chose. Because if we don't say that we chose it, then we become victims, right? We become victims of circumstance, and we know we're not. We created the circumstance. We agreed to the circumstance. Come on, Key. Come on, Key. How you
Hey,
doing?
I
Oh,
wanted to
good.
share something just real quick.
Okay.
Um, for everybody who, part of the book club, not part of the book club, I will say the audio is dope, right? Being able to drive with it, listening to it while you're washing dishes, doing whatever. But it's going to have a different context when you're able to actually see the words and it actually, because it's sometimes when I had to read it, I was like, hold on, let me go back to it. And I had to reread it to really resonate for it to me really be able to grasp what it is and then highlight and then kind of go back. But I will just say there is a difference between the audio with this book. There's a lot of other books you probably can just, do the audio. But this one in particular, I will say, based off of what we've been hearing, the reverb, definitely, see about going to Toya's book club. I mean, her Facebook club, and getting a PDF copy. We got a few copies in there, but definitely just take heed to just taking the time out. These are the short chapters, really powerful, but just get the PDF. You know what I'm saying? It hits different, for definitely sure, and I wouldn't cap on that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. I got the book. I got it in. I touch it. I had to get, But this is one of the first books I purchased when I started on my awakening, my remembering of self. This is one of the first books I purchased. Go ahead, Key.
Okay, sorry I kept jumping on and off. I was trying to give people room, if
Oh,
they
okay,
wanted
no
to come up.
problem. You good?
Um, but I was with Mia when she said chapter 5 was like, whoa. And I'm gonna say Neville, he snatched my edges with this chapter. Like, well, my right edge already. Anyway, he tried to come from my left, but anyway, it was that first line when he said, "The drama of life is psychological," and I'm like, wow, like nothing is random. And people they be like, oh, the most random thing happened to me today. Nah. What played out externally first existed internally as what you consented to, what you accepted, and then what you assumed to be true about yourself. And then it just unfolds in your world. And then I like what A Town was saying too, because he was talking, he touched on you are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination. And I would like to say your imagination isn't just what you picture, it's what you anticipate, what you rehearse emotionally, what you may brace for, or what you quietly expect. And some of that stuff happens without pictures. And your imagination doesn't ask if it's true. The law says If you think this shit is normal, then say less. I got
Woo!
you.
Say less.
And so it's like, who knew the whole time I've been sitting around imagining weird things like, oh, what if my man cheating on me? What if I go on his phone and he's sweet talking with his baby mama? You know, I was handing out an instruction manual to my consciousness. And when people say, like, they be like, oh, so that's normal to you? And they say, so that makes sense to you? Now it hits different because now I think twice about what I'm agreeing to. So that's just my 2 cents on chapter 5.
Ooh, that's that power of awareness. Now I'm more aware of what I'm being aware of, right? I'm paying attention to what I'm paying attention to, right? He says, so the chapter of the title of this chapter is what? The truth that sets you free. This is what he says. The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in reality. And by maintaining this experience in imagination, your desire will become an actuality. And like Key was saying, and what I want to add on to, words are pictures, right? So even if you're saying a word and it doesn't instantly give you an image in your mind, you know that a word is a picture. A picture is a word. There's no separation there. All right. So every time you speak, every time you use a word, because what does the script say? In the beginning was the word. Your meaning, your intention, your preconceived notions, your ideas, your assumptions, your expectations, right? All of that was in the beginning. And what does it say? It was with God. And then what does it say? It was God. So what is it telling you? It's the creator in you. The creator in man is the mind, is the imagination. That's God. Because your thoughts are things. They don't become things, they are things. They're the very thing that's going to show up in your reality. But here's the trick. This is where people get confused. You have a thought of abandonment, neglect, being cheated on, wronged. You don't get to say how that plays out. So most people say, well, I didn't ask to be cheated on. I didn't ask to be abused. No one is consciously asking for it. But this is what makes the law no respect of person, because it doesn't care who misuses it. It doesn't care who misuses it. And like Gigi said, yes, you did. You just didn't know it. You were just what? Unaware. You were just unconscious. You were unconsciously creating. But that's what makes the law not no respecter. It doesn't care. That's what makes it unchangeable, immutable. It doesn't say, well, if Key uses it, I'm going to bend it for her. And then if Toyia uses it, she has to. It ain't like the laws of our land, right? Based on who you know and how you know and what you know. And it don't, this law don't care who you are. Unlike our man-made laws, if you slip somebody $100, they'd be like, oh, I ain't gonna make it happen. The only thing that changes this law is repentance. The only thing that changes the outcome is the fact that you have to change the outcome, which means you have to renew your mind. You have to think again. That is the mercy of the law, is that you get to change it. How? By changing it. How do you change it? By changing it. You get to change the outcome just by what? Thinking again. Thinking again. That's the mercy. That's when it says, I will have mercy on who I will have mercy. You got to know repentance, because if you don't know repentance, then the mercy is not extended to you. You're going to reap what you sow. But if you understand the mercy of the law, which is repentance, you get to change the outcome. You get to think again. Yep, this is why we did. If you're aware, you don't have to go around repenting. But because we are in our limited experience, we do get caught up. We get lost in a dream. We get caught up in the sauce. We will unknowingly plant some seeds that we, like I said, that's when the script says, that's that parable says that there was some seeds that were sown unaware, that some tares got sown with the wheat. And it was like, oh, master, somebody came in and sold some tares unaware. And he said, let us go and pick it up. He said, you don't pick them up. Let them grow together. I'll separate it. Who will separate it? You will. You'll separate the wheat from the tear when it grows up. You'll decide, do I like it or do I don't want it? You get by changing your mind about it. Go ahead, Gigi.
Yes, and it's true. I mean, he has here on this chapter says the truth sets you free. The truth that sets you free is that you can experience in imagination what you desire to experience in reality. And by maintaining this experience in imagination, your desire will become an actuality. Wow. I mean, ain't that a kick in the head? But it's so true. And it's like, it's when you realize that you are accountable, that it's all you, that is, talk about being set free. Talk about being released. Whatever you have in your imagination, picture it, commit to it, stay with it, and you'll experience. It's what you choose. If you say that somebody cheats on you, they will. If you say they don't cheat on you, they won't. If you say somebody likes you, they will. If you say they don't like you, they won't. It's like in the book Magic of Believing, Claude Bristol says, whether you say you can or can't, you're right. Whether you say you have or have not, you're right. It's what you say. Your words are your beliefs, your imagination. They're all related. They're not separate. They're all part of the same secret sauce.
Yeah.
And, I just love this poem that he has here. Visions of beauty and splendor, forms of a long lost race, sounds and faces and voices from the fourth dimension of space. And on through the universe boundless, our thoughts go lightning shod. Some call it imagination, and others call it God. Wow.
Yes.
It's just gonna make me cry. I want to cry right now. It's just, I mean, wow, this book is rocking my world. It's like he said, it'd be rocking my edges, it's rocking my world in many ways, shapes and forms. And I'm so thankful that we're reading this book because I've always wanted to read it, but everything comes when it's supposed to.
Yep.
So
one of my favorite books by Neville. I've read this book several times, and every time I go back, it's another something that just pops out, something else that just stimulates, something else that's like, lest you forget. That's why Paul says, I die daily.
Yes.
Yes. I did want to read this this last paragraph. I'm not going to read the whole paragraph, but it says, when the imagination is not controlled and the attention not steadied on the feeling, conviction, acceptance of the wish fulfilled, then no amount of prayer or piety or invocation will produce the desired effect. I just have in parentheses, just decide. You just got to decide. Pick a side, that's what decide means, to pick a side and then stay there. That's what assumption is. Assume the position. Assume that you already are that which you desire to be. And so many people are, how? Well, now you have to talk to yourself. Now you have to say, well, now that I am this, what does that look like? How do I talk now? I cannot say that I'm abundant and then complain about money. I can't say that I'm healthy and then talk to everybody. Every chance I get, I'm telling somebody about my aches and pains. I thought you just said you were healthy, that the Lord had healed you. How are you still complaining about aches and pains? and symptoms. Since you are here, not if you are, since you are, there are no symptoms, correct? Since you are wealthy, there's no such thing as I don't have enough. How am I going to cover this? Where's the money going to come from? Not your work, none of your business. Mind your business, just mind your business. Where the money comes from, how the body gets healed, none of your business. That's not your business. Your business is that it's already done. Your business is I'm already whole. Your business is I came that I may have life and that more abundantly, that the Lord is my shepherd. I should never be in want. Yeah, my cup runs over. He opens up the window and pours me out a blessing that I do not have room in. And who's the he? I am. I am the he. No, don't get it twisted now. I am the he in scripture. I am. Not Toyia. Not Toyia. I am. Toyia is the personality. Toyia is the creation. I am my Father. My consciousness are one, but the Father is always greater. What does that mean? That my unconditioned state is always greater than anything I condition myself to be, yet I'm never separate from my condition. I created it. The God in his creation, regardless of religion wants to tell you, ain't never separate. That's why Jesus said, I and my Father are one. Even though I'm in the flesh, I'm still God. I'm just keyed low. That's how I never put it. Matter and spirit are one. They're not separate. They're not two. There's one. There's only one power. Your physical manifestation, the body, is not separate from spirit. It's spirit keyed low. It's spirit made visible. That's all matter is. It's never not God. God is everything, right? You say God is the trees, God is the bird, but you won't say God is the body. Great is the mystery, reminds Paul. God manifested in the flesh, which means God became flesh, which means God is the body. And everybody want to tell you that it's not. God not the body, God is everything. And everything is I am. It says, I am that I am. I am whatever I conceive myself to be. I am that. I am the unconditional essence that has put on visibility, put on flesh, became matter. That's it. Well, we too busy trying to divide consciousness. We too busy trying to divide infinity. Yes, the body is a shadow. The body is the finite of that which is infinite. It's temporal, but it's still God. God couldn't find anything consciousness source. D-I-M couldn't find anything else to make these things out of. So what? He made it out of himself, or she out of himself, or it out of itself. Because every element that's found in this universe is found in the human body. That's what it says we are. You are the universe. Because you contain every element, every mineral, every vitamin. So when the doctor tells you you lack something, tell them bullshit. I don't like a goddamn thing. But you're going to let them tell you ain't got enough of this. You lacking vitamin C. You don't got enough iron. You don't got enough calcium. You don't got enough. And lied and told you that you're going to get your calcium from a cow. I don't have anything against you drinking milk. But to know that you already have everything that you need, you lack no good thing. For God, the universe is giving you all things pertaining to life and godliness. You're whole and complete. Be ye holy, or be ye perfect as I am perfect and holy, which means what? Be complete, be whole, claim it, because what? Why? You are it. Yep. And so, but if you think it's something wrong with you, then it will be. That's all. As long as you say there is, you're right.
True.
As long as you keep saying, "Oh, my nervous system not regulated," you right. Your nervous system not regulated. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Like get it regulated. Then do what you gotta do to regulate it. How you gonna regulate the nervous system? What you gotta do? Somebody gonna sell you. They gonna have a nervous system regulator diet. They gonna sell you a diet.
You didn't.
They gonna sell you a diet on how to regulate that nervous system.
For
Hey,
$99.99.
I actually had a friend of mine, hold on, I'm sorry, let me turn my music down. I actually, speaking of the nervous system, and shout out to hey, believe what you want to believe. However, they, they were swearing me up and down, you know what I'm saying? That, well, no, the nervous system, you don't know that you gotta have this and you gotta have that and you gotta be, you gotta put this stuff
You're
together.
always lacking something, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, that's a subset of I am. You know what I'm saying? I am supersedes that. No, but and they were fighting for it. You know what I mean? And I was and I think that is how I found out, where I'm just able to just be confident in who you are. You don't have to be out witnessing or, be out, bashing people or whatever. It's gonna come, and the people that are gonna want it, and the form of your communication and how you communicate it's gonna be way different, right? Baby wanted to challenge me on, and not really challenge me, but and sort of, we were having just a dialogue, but they were just kind of really just bashing, like, no, well, they got to have this and this connects to that and you got to align this and you got to be able to. And I'm like, no, no, that's not it, and I just wanted to kind of really encourage people to, that nothing is above I am. You know what I'm saying? There's, as Toya was mentioning, that the nervous system, your chakras, to your, it's good to know that stuff, but don't let that be a permission slip to being and tapping into your desires and your imagination. Because, if that's your desire, as we just read, our imagination supersedes that. Our desires supersede that. And that's one of the things that I was just trying to, really encourage, baby, in terms of that. It's not, I didn't want to refrain from, y'all, you like this, but I just recognized, like, look, that's a permission slip. You know what I'm saying? You don't need a permission to be, our desires. And, and the fact that she, this particular person, they have a certain level of influence and they have a certain level of impact, or they're of a certain alignment with other different mentors or spiritual coaches and stuff like that. So we have to really know how to stand on our business, right? Because there's going to be people that are going to be, well, I know this and I know that. I studied this, I studied that. I have this accolade. I got this, scratch all that. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
always about trusting something outside of you, right?
Right.
And we think because numbers means rightness,
Mm-hmm.
that the consensus is right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with you by yourself, you and your imagination is always the majority.
Right.
You're always, you and God. With God, you're always the majority, which is with your power, with the creator in you, you're always more than anything out there. And like he reminded us, and Neville reminded us, and you too, A-Town, everyone on the panel, is what are you consenting to?
Mm-hmm.
You're giving your consent to this narrative, because that's all it is. It's a story. It's a narrative. Mm-hmm. And you decided, well, you know what? I do feel tension in the body. Yeah, I do feel something going on with me. I do feel a little anxious. It got to be my nervous system. Yeah, it got to be my nerves. And my nervous system, I'm just nervous. I'm just like it's wrong to be nervous. Is it wrong to be nervous? When did being nervous become wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we making that wrong? Why are we making wrong nerve? Why are we making nervous be wrong? Because what we say, you're nervous, but do it anyway.
Be that.
Do it anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good.
No, we don't identify with it. That's the thing. You have to choose what you're going to identify with. We keep thinking we don't have a choice, right? Yes, I get it. Because we've been conditioned. Yes, we have been conditioned to wrongness. We've been conditioned to finding problems. And if nothing's happening because you think, there's always something happening. You have to get that out of your mind. Nothing's happening. You just can't see it. Doesn't mean energy is never at rest, ever. Something is always happening. But you think because you can't see it, it's motionless. Impossible. It's always something going on. But because you get uncomfortable in your own stillness, which means you're stilling the body. But is the body ever really at rest? No, but you know what we mean. You have settled the body. You've settled the mind. You decided to stop worrying. That's all restfulness in And God means you gave up the worrying, you gave up the doubt, you gave up trying to figure it out, you gave up trying, and you're deciding to just be. So I'm just going to be present in this moment. And I'm going to allow myself to feel whatever going on in this body, whatever energy is coursing through this body. And I'm just going to experience it. You find out once you decide to experience it, it dissipates. This is when Neville Goddard said you got to be uncritical about what's going on with you. But instead of being uncritical, we want to judge it. If you could just it's just like someone said, it's just sensation. It's whatever you say it is, though. It can be, it's just nothing. It's just my body just doing what the body do. And I'm just gonna sit here and just experience what the body doing. What you doing? Talk to your body. What you got going on? What you doing? See, this is why the Bible said, commune with thy own self upon thy bed and be still. But you don't want to talk to yourself. You want to talk to somebody else to tell you about yourself. That ain't what you were never supposed to go to someone else to ask them about you. You were supposed to commune with your own self upon your bed and be still. You weren't supposed to talk to the doctor, talk to the therapist, talk to your mentor, your spiritual guru, your coach. But you can do whatever you want to do. It's your story, it's your book, it's your script, it's your movie. Maybe sometimes you just want to experience somebody else telling you what to do. Because again, at the end of the day, there is no wrongness in it, right? There, at the end of the day, you wanted the experience of asking someone else for direction, for asking someone else to lead you, to ask someone else to guide you. But the anointing that you have, you don't need that any man teach you. See, the script says, why are you putting your trust in man whose breath is in his nostrils? So when people come up here and tell me that it was me, I said, no, I'm just a reflection. It was never me. I'm just a reflection. I'm just a projection of your own consciousness, of your subconscious. And you wanted to have the experience of it appearing that someone else was telling you about you, but I'm not telling you about you telling you about you. I'm just your mirror that you're having a conversation with. I'm not doing anything. I'm just being. Like I said, we all manifested this co-creation together. We all here remembering who we are through one another, through our beautiful reflections. Because you help me just as much as I help you. Why? Because we're one. Not 2, not 10, not 44. One. We're all one. I am you, you are me. We in this together. We doing this together. Because there's only who? God in the world. As much as people want to say it's not, that there's a devil, there's an enemy, there's a other spirit. They're going to tell you it's 10,000 spirits, 10,000 demons. There's only one power. Individualized means what? Undivided. Indivisible, for which it stands. One nation under God. Indivisible. We're one nation under God. Indivisible. We can't be divided. The United States got that right. We one nation under God, indivisible. We cannot be divided. We are individualized consciousness having a human experience, which means we're undivided in consciousness. There is only one power, one mind, one faith, one Lord, one baptism. It's only one. It's all one. Yep. And I know that people want to take. I get it. Yes, you're going to have those because that taking full accountability. I get it. But what I need to understand is that people do want to understand how to be totally free. And what makes you totally free is accepting that it's all me. That's how you get totally free. So there are people that I am here for those who are ready to accept total accountability. And then you have others that only want to accept some accountability. And so what? They're going to have a crowd that gravitates to them. because they're going to say, oh, you're accountable for some or most, but just not all. And I'll be that voice that says, I can help you blame it on the man. I can help you blame it on your boyfriend. I can say your ex, he mishandled you. He didn't understand you. He didn't get you. Yeah, that girl that you was with, yeah, she was just there for your pockets. She was just there to see what you can get because you was for a good time and not a long time. Yeah, it will always be somebody else's fault. Yeah, if that's what you're looking for, to never take full accountability, that's out there too. But I gotta be me. And I've never been, ain't no half stepping. I ain't never been the type to half step. I gotta give it to you straight up, no tracer. Cause I'm all about I take full accountability. Since I take full accountability, I can't, and I know not giving the full accountability, you may get a bigger audience, because if I make you say, well, you know what, you gotta kill that ego. You know you're not your thoughts. You know it's not you thinking it. You know it's somebody else. You know you don't have to, that's not you. That's not who you are. But then when they tell you that, you ask, who is it? They can never tell you who it is. They're just gonna tell you who it's not. That's just some voice. Whose voice? It's just a voice it's just there. It's a programming. Who programmed it? Where did the program come from? Who did it? Don't worry about that. Just know that you're not it. That's just not who you are. And then they never have a changed life. And they wonder why they never have a changed life. Why they gotta keep finding the next guru, the next coach, the next master, because they never get to know who they are. To realize, oh, that's me talking shit to me. Oh, that's me thinking less of me. Oh, that's me creating this. Oh, that's me. Because when you realize it's you, you get to change it. But if you think it's not you, then how's it going to get changed? Who's going to change it if you never accept that it's you? How's it going to be undone then? Yep. That's it. Keep going from relationship to relationship. Yep. Teach escapism. Yep. A lot of people teach escapism. Yeah. Don't want to, But again, because all things are possible in this world, because all things exist, all experiences are there, you get to choose. You get to choose. You get to have it your way. And then when you get tired of, things going the way it's going, eventually you'll realize, his thing. You don't even have to come to a full circle, full moment of, man, it was me the whole time. Say you never even come to that realization. Say that you never accept that you were the one having the thought, you were the one causing the thought, that you're the operant power. But this is what you can do. You do have the ability to choose the thought. Just know that. Even if you don't want to go full on that you're the one causing the thought, the negative thought, the quote unquote low vibrational thought, the quote unquote whatever label you want to give it, just know you got power to choose your thoughts. That you can actually be selective. You can actually be deliberate. You actually have a say so. Yep. You get to choose it. Just decided, it's okay. And I get most people that, that the forgiveness, people still haven't embodied the forgiveness. People still deal in regret and remorse. People still operate in condemnation. You understand there is no condemnation. So which means you no longer have to talk about, man, I can't believe I made that mistake 20 years ago. I can't believe I thought this way 10 years ago. I can't believe I got in that marriage 5 years ago. There's no reason to go back. There is no condemnation. There is no regret. There is no remorse. There is no shame. There is no guilt. How you gonna beat yourself up for something you didn't even know? You didn't know that your thoughts were creative. You didn't know that had you thought differently, something different would have took place. You know now. So why not forgive yourself? And I know this is what some people call shadow work, inner work, what loving your inner child, whatever you want to call it, whatever label you want to get it. I just know it's called forgiveness. I'm going to give myself the things I thought I didn't have, which I'm going to give myself grace, love, understanding, peace, joy. And when I say give, it's just about acceptance. I'm going to recognize I'm already those things, not how to get those things, not how to become those things, but to accept that I am peace. I am joy. I am love. I am abundant. I am full of grace and truth. I am full of mercy. I am these things. We can only desire what we already are at that point. That's it. Can't say it any more cleaner than that, more simpler than that. You only desire that what you already are. So you're desiring safety, security, more money. You are money. Like Reverend Ike said, I am money. I am. He said, how do you break it if it's habitual? Decide. It's as simple as just deciding. That's it. That's what Mark 11:24 tells you. Mark 11:24 says, whatever, therefore I say to you, whatever you desire, that's your decision. When you pray, that's your claim. Believe you've received it. You have to say it is already yours. And then what? It will be yours. So it's just like, let's give an example. Do you ask permission to drive a car that already belongs to you? Do you ask permission to come into your own house? No. You decide to drive your car. You decide that that's you have decided. You made a decision. It's already yours. You're not asking other people, let me call my mama and see if it's okay for me to drive my car. Right? You don't. You just do it because you know it belongs to you. That's how we have to think about our desires. We're not trying to get someone to give us anything. We're only deciding to realize we already have it. Like Nike, just do it. Just be it. Right? Just be it. Because here's the thing, I'm a driver if I never drive another car ever again in my life. If you never see me drive a car, I'm a driver. I don't never have to drive another car ever again. But I'm a driver. I drive a car. I know how to drive. Right? I am. Yep. You all have anything else to say? I know I went on my little soliloquy, my little monologue there.
I loved your soliloquy, your monologue, your preach. Get it, girl. Get it.
You be hitting, you be covering the bases.
Yep. Repeat the be, repeat the being. That's all you got to do is repeat the being.
Yeah, because it's about acknowledging that we're source, right? And
exactly.
So that's what you have to sit with. What does that mean to say I'm God? I'm the source of all things, that I'm the creator of everything in my life. That's the part that people be like, yeah, I ain't ready for all that. That's a little bit too deep for me. What you mean I created everything? What you mean I'm responsible for it all? Hold up. That's a little bit, you going a little step too far with that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's true.
absolutely.
And the thing is, it's not talking about the personality. And that's what people get confused, right? When you say I am God, not saying that the personality, the mask that I wear, the persona that you see, right? Because it's Jesus remind us, oh, I ain't doing nothing. This blood that flows within these men, it do it all on its own. My inhale, exhale, I don't have to. I can decide to breathe in, breathe out. But can I decide to make a follicle of hair grow? Or the nails on, I mean, yes, we can say that, oh, you use these different type of nourishments, you take these type of vitamins and these things to help it grow, but you're not physically making anything happen, right? These things work together and come together, whatever chemicals or whatever, the composite of your body is, and those things start to matriculate outside of you and expand, and without you having to do anything. And this is where we get, and I'm guilty of it too. Not. That's why I say we think that once we decide that we have something, the logical mind goes into how we gonna get it. What I gotta do. If I just promote more, if I just do more, let me do this, let me do that, we're trying to figure out what to do. But your doing is a result of your being. That's why you never have to figure out what to do, because it will just happen. Your physical mobility is never the cause, ever. Now, the world will say, well, I saw you doing this and I saw you doing it. They'll give cause to the effect. But or you should know, that the cause was mental. That I thought about it. I am this, which is why I did that. I could never have possibly did that without first being it. It's the only reason why I did it. Because that's who I am. So when you say that you're the greatest basketball player ever and you really believe that you are, then your regimen throughout the day is going to dictate that you are the greatest to ever do it. And whenever you're doing it, right? You say that I'm doing, and that's whatever you say. I'm the greatest teacher. I'm the greatest social worker. I'm the greatest cook. Whatever you're saying you're great at. The world is going to confirm. You throw down, man. I've never had, a fried turkey like this. I've never had, some ribs just fall off the bone. Oh my good, right? You're going to get confirmation of who you say you are. Your world. Whether that ends up being 100 people, 10,000 people, 1 million people, 10 million, someone's going to come and confirm the very thing you believe that you are. You're always going to get confirmation of it. The thing is, you cannot allow the outer to prop you up. Because the moment you say that the outer was the cause, that means they gave it to you, they can take it away from you. The world ain't gave me nothing. I decided that I had it. So they had no free will or no choice other than to give it to me. That's why a lot of people will get good things or greatness, and then when it all come tumbling down, they don't know who they are without doing this or being this, because they let the world dictate who they are. You better know who you are without the world telling you. If the world don't never tell you you're great, you better look in that mirror and say, I'm great. Go ahead, A-Town.
Just an audience.
Yeah, if nobody ever tells you you're great, you got to know that you're great. You got to know that you're great, regardless if no one ever tells you. Without anyone co-signing, without no one propping you up, you got to know that you're the best. You have to know it. Your world will confirm it. You ain't got to go look for it. It'll happen all on its own. Go ahead, Gigi.
Muhammad Ali is a perfect example of that. He told himself that he's the greatest fighter. He told himself that he's the best, that, he'll knock you out in the first round. Mike Tyson emulated that. And how many actresses emulate Marilyn Monroe? It's all self-concept. And Cher said it best. She said, I don't have to believe in anybody but myself. Because if you're waiting for somebody to believe in you, you're going to be waiting for a very long time.
Very long time.
And she's right. It's all you. And that's a beautiful thing. That means you can be, do, have anything, whenever. Doesn't matter how old you are. Who cares? Judge Judy said it best. If it doesn't happen in your 20s, it'll happen in your 30s. If it doesn't happen in your 30s, it'll happen in your 40s. If it doesn't happen in your 40s, it'll happen in your 50s. If it happen in your 50s, it'll happen in your 60s. Or like, look what happened to Grandma Hubbard. She became a famous painter in her 80s. So I mean,
yep.
It's your choice. You choose. If you believe, oh, I'm too old, well then, you know what God's saying? Yeah, you're too old. If you believe, you know what, I don't give a shit. I can do anything, be anything I want at any age, including now. God says, yeah, you can be, do anything you want at any age, including now. It agrees with you 100%. It's yes, amen. It never says no. Ain't that nice? Yep, KFC.
Yep.
Yes, Karen Trade. KFC is a perfect example. Started a chicken franchise in his 80s, late 70s, 80s. And they probably told him, "Boy, you crazy. You should be retiring." He goes, "Oh no. I'm gonna start my own chicken franchise." And thank God he did, because it's like the best chicken ever. You can smell that thing blocks away. It's
but
so
then
good.
When KFC did it, did that mean that Popeyes wasn't gonna make their chicken, or churches wasn't gonna do theirs, or Chick-fil-A wasn't gonna do theirs, or whoever these Raising Cane, right?
Hell yeah, Raising Cane.
Burger King did not decide they weren't gonna do burgers because McDonald's did it. They, like, and so and that's the other error where people think where so many other people are doing it. It's saturated. Your life is not about other people. Your life is about you. What do you want? Not about who else doing what you're doing. They should only be inspiration to show you that it can be done. But even if you're deciding to do something that no one else has ever thought of, do it. Somebody got to be the first. Why not you?
Exactly.
You'll be the first 4-minute mile runner. Right? Nobody thought people could run 4 minutes in a mile, run a mile in 4 minutes until somebody did it. Then everybody started doing it. Go ahead, Royal.
Hey, first of all, to speak on the 4-mile run, the 4-minute run. Back then they didn't have the internet, right? So as soon as that dude broke the 4-minute mile run, all over the place, it was like 20 people in a different area that started doing it. So it just shows that we are all one consciousness. So it wasn't like they saw it on the internet. You know what I mean? It was like he accomplished something in consciousness and it awoke in other people. But what I was gonna say was kind of like what A-Town was saying, thinking worst case scenario. And a lot of us could go down a rabbit hole of just worst case scenario, trying to prepare for things, trying to have like control. So, okay, if this happens, then I'm gonna do this and this. That was a lot of my mindset before. But now, the same way we can run down that rabbit hole of negativity or worst case scenario, we can also go down that rabbit hole of wish or whatever our desire is, you know what I mean? And just kind of, and I won't even say go down a rabbit hole, go up the mountaintop or whatever, but just kind of keep compounding interest, anything that just stamps that belief, that just stamps that being, you know what I mean? Yep. And he said you are limited only by your uncontrolled imagination and lack of attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. So even unintentionally, we was limiting ourselves. You know what I mean? We were creating this whole damn time. But yeah. So but just in a limited way. So just those rabbit holes and that worst case scenario was creating chaos, drama, limitations. So
right, and so people get lost in the sauce of Why aren't I manifesting? Or this is why you're not manifesting. No, you're always manifesting.
Right.
Manifestation is not a technique. It's who you are. You are the manifestation. You are God made flesh. And everything you speak becomes flesh. Because the word becomes flesh and dwells among us or within us. And it said all things were made by him. And there was nothing that was made that was not made by him. Who was him? The word, the creator in man, the mind. Everything proceeds from thought and becomes what? Something you can detect with the five senses, becomes visible. Things that we see were not made by things which do appear. I don't know your thoughts until, I mean, here's the thing. We, like you said, yeah, we can do mental telepathy. Some people can like read, quote unquote, because there's only one mind. So some people do have that ability with mental telepathy. So I'm not going to say that you can't. But even though I can basically feel your thought or know what you're thinking, I still can't see your thoughts. I'm just basically what? Resonating with it. We're vibrating on the same plane or the same wavelength, right? Because there are what they call frequencies, but the thing is, you are the frequency, you are the channel, you are the station, you are the broadcaster, you are the receiver, you're all of it. You're playing every part. You're looking for the calls, tag, you're it. Whoops. Tag, you're it. And I know we want the calls to be something else other than ourselves. And it's easy to blame something else. But the thing is, I say, let's get off the train of trying to find causation because we know what it is, right? Let's as Paul says, look, let's put down those childish things. We've come to the realization we are the cause. Now, let's go to the next level. What you want to create? What you want to bring forth in your life? What is it that you want? Now you know that your mind is creative. Your imagining creates reality. Your consciousness brings forth your thoughts, right? That everything is happening within you. Now, what are you going to give your attention to? Now do you want to become aware of? Go ahead, Royal.
No, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. And even that thought of cause and effect, right? So now it's cause the effect. You know what I mean? Like now so now we cause the effect. Like we're in control of that. We are the cause and the effect. So absolutely.
Yep. Yep. And I decide, and it could just be as simple. I just want to be happy. I just want to be at peace. I just want to feel safe. Whatever it is, claim it, be it, right? Don't limit yourself. Sit with yourself and find out what is it that, now I'm that, now I said I have this home, or now that I say I have this car, now that I say I have this business, now that I say that I'm in my soft girl era, I'm in my soft man area, I'm not going to sit here and think just because a man, because your gender is male that you want to work. And because your gender is female, like it's okay for you not to work, but it's not okay for the male gender not to work. There are people that just want to have the money flowing in and do as little as possible, regardless of your gender. Because there are men that marry into wealthy families. It happens. Just like a woman can marry into a wealthy family, so can a man. It happens all the time. Look at Serena, who was that? Venus Williams' husband. Her husband, they say he ain't got much money. He just married into a rich life, a wealthy wife. He got a wealthy wife. Her husband just hit the jackpot financially and probably spiritually and romantically too. But we talking about money now, right? She didn't go marry her some billionaire. He married him some billionaire. Okay, see, there you go. The old one too old, right? Who was French Montana? A-Town. He did. He married into wealth.
Yeah, he's a rapper, but he married a princess out there in
Okay, I've
Yeah.
heard of him, but I didn't know his story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So and them families is out there to buy, yeah, and them families is rolling.
You
And
see what I'm saying? So don't let people
you
tell
can
you,
tell.
oh, you cannot let the world would try to limit you and put you in a
Hmm.
box and tell you what's not supposed to happen and what should happen and how it. I'm
Hmm.
glad he didn't let society tell him that he shouldn't marry somebody just because they rich and he don't got as much as them because he the
And
man.
you can tell
Because
you
he the
can tell
man.
he yeah, and you can tell his whole lifestyle changed, and because he had a little bread, he was a little, famous rapper, but he's living a different level, when it came to that wealth status. And so yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. But yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right. I am wealth. Right. The moment you say I am wealth and actually believe it, not just say it, believe it, right? You'll see it. It has to show up. It has to show up. It has to. It has to show up. Do you think he could have rearranged a way to meet this princess in Dubai? It's some things that had to take place, right? Some things that, right? And she actually had to be attracted to him too, right? There's some things that had to, some things that his logical mind could not have tried to conceive or bring about. Now I'm gonna say some people don't be scheming and planning and get their way too, cause yeah. But but the scheming and planning works. Why? Because they believed it with the scheme and plan will work. It always comes back to what? Belief. It always comes back to belief. Scammers
Okay.
only work because they believe in the scam. Go ahead, Gigi.
I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, it's just what you believe. It's what you assume. If you believe, oh, I'm going to scam this person and it'll work, it'll work. If you say, I don't have to scam them, I just got to be me. They're going to love me because,
Yep. Yep.
I'm that girl, I'm that guy. They're going to love you because you say you're that girl and that guy. Your word becomes flesh. So it's what you say. How
What you
easy is
say.
that?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And so next week we'll be on chapters 6, 7, and 8. They're very short chapters. Very, very short chapters.
Look, I listened to the audio book and they're like each chapter like 10, 15 minutes on the audio, right? I listened to them on repeat, but and we stretched them out for 3.5 hours. So I love how deep we get. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So we
yeah.
stretched that 15 minutes out. Yeah.
15 minutes an hour, right? But it's good to hear other perspectives, right? We just all, like they say, iron sharpening iron, right? We're just here helping one another elevate, expand our awareness, expand our consciousness, remembering who we are, the power that we have, that there is no limit other than the limit we place upon it, right? And so it's just, you really got to get out of the world and go within yourself and decide what is it that the self of you wants to experience. Take money out of the equation, right? Or add money to the equation. So I won the lottery. Say you want to win the lottery. I won the lottery and I hit the jackpot, the mega millions, the Powerball, whatever it was, the lotto, the little lotto, whatever it was. X amount of, you won it, you got this big. What is my life now? Like, really sit with that. And don't try to force what it is. Let it just come up. Now I am this part. Now that, the money's there, it's just a part of my reality. It's just back around me. It's just who I am. Who am I? Who am I? Now that I can go wherever I want to go. I can do whatever I want to do. I can purchase. I don't got to look at, I want to do something. I'm not checking for prices. I'm just checking for times and locations and destinations. That's all I'm checking. I can live anywhere in the world. I could have whatever I want. What does that look like? Yep. Say the train that could, I think I can. Yep. See with yourself. Let that, because especially, if you're saying, I don't know, like, I want this, but I can't. For some reason, I can't see it. Like but I can't. And it's okay if you can't see it, but sit with it. So you talk to yourself. You talk to yourself, and you let those doubts come up. You let those fears come up. You let that word. You let it, and you just be uncritical about what's there. So now you have the awareness. Oh, I'm a little, I don't, I'm a little, not that you're judging it. You're just aware of it. And so when you become aware of it, then what you can do with it? Change it. You can change it. And it ain't got to be all deep either. It ain't that you sitting up here trying to analyze it. You're not trying to justify. You may realize that you was like, I thought that I was worthy, but I feel a little unworthy. But it's not even about worthiness. I don't have to justify what I want. Like, talk to yourself, right? Like, have this conversation with yourself. Why do I feel like I need to justify what I want? Why do I feel like I have to prove to people that I should have this? Why do I think that I have, oh yeah, because the world told me that if I get something for free, I ain't really gonna appreciate it. Oh yeah, because the world told me, then don't nothing come for free. You always got to work for something. Like the world, right? And so you realize, I thought that. So now, in order for me to get away from that mindset, I have to do what? Think differently. Like, I think this, I'm feeling this, I'm experiencing this because I thought this way, because I agreed, because I consented to this. But now I'm going to choose to consent to that. I don't owe nobody a damn explanation. I don't got to explain nothing to nobody. When God decided let there be, did he have a conversation with anybody? Like, well, do you think we should make a world? Do you think we should do this? Do you think they need a sun? Do you think they need a moon? Do you think the earth needs some stars? Who did God go and ask and have what they call it, a conference with? Buddy? Who did God have to justify why he did? Who is God answering to?
Nobody. He especially wasn't asking why. Why do I have to make
right,
sun?
meeting with, right. Thank you, Adriel. Who he meeting with? Right, who God meeting with?
Why do I deserve to make the sun? Why do I deserve to make the trees? Why? Nope, neither. He just said, let there be, and it was. That's it.
Yep. And we still be trying to justify, right? So we hear, well, I deserve this, or I'm worthy of this. And then the world will come tell you, no, you're not. You didn't deserve to get that. You didn't do nothing for that. You didn't earn it. And so the moment you try to bring justification, the world is going to try to tell you you're not justified. You don't deserve that. You don't. So you got to know you're supposed to have it regardless of any explanation. Cause I said so. Like, you know how your parents tell you why? Cause I said so. They didn't. Some parents would, but most parents, I know when I was coming up, it wasn't no meeting with the children to ask them what they thought about anything. The parents said, do it, and that's it. I said it, and that's enough. Why? Because I said so.
I said so. And if not, the belt would convince you. You want to talk to the belt? No, that's okay. That's okay. This ain't no debate. You got it. You got it.
And like Royal said, it was good. It was God. Good and God are the same word, right? So is dog. So is dog. Dog, good, God. They're all the same word. I'm big dog. I'm big dog. Big dog. I'm big God. I run the streets. I run these streets up in here. Right? Who run the streets? Big dog. The big dog run the streets, right? Don't the big dog run the streets? That's God. Same thing. I know, but you want to catch the recap of my videos, go to my YouTube channel, Prosperous Living with Toyia. If you want to share some of your success stories, you want to ask some questions during the week. I only come on twice a week now, Saturdays and Wednesdays. You can go over to the Facebook group that's also Prosperous Living with Toyia. I also have my Instagram. It's starting to rock and roll over there too. Royalty. I be forgetting my handle. I think it's Royal_T forever, or maybe Royalty_4 forever. I could be forgetting. But you can get the link in my bio. You can find the link to my handle, to my IG, and the link tree in my bio. There you'll also find free books. I have a manifestation ebook bundle. The link tree in the bio is also free. There you'll be reminded of your power with the recipe for life, how to manifest your desires. It's based off Mark 11:24. Whatever, therefore I say to you, whatever you desire when you pray, believe you received it and you shall have it. And then I have the 30-day transformation journey. Thank you. 30-day transformation journey. It gives you a script, affirmation, and a practical application of the script to again reminding you of who you are. My books are only there to remind you of who you are. But here's the thing, you don't got to go no further than within. You don't have to, understand that these books, these videos, movies, they're just all what? Confirmation of you, right? And it's okay if we need a little reminder, right? It's okay. We're all here. We're all in this together, right? We're all in this together. So it's okay if you need a little reminder. I need reminders too. That's why I bought books too. That's why I studied these books too. And I actually apply it. That's the key. You can read all day long, but if you're not proving this knowledge to yourself, that's okay too. But that's why you're stuck. That's why you keep experiencing Groundhog Day. That's why life just seems to be like a hamster wheel. You use the same ish, different day. That's why. And it's okay. Because again, there is no hell to go to. There's no judgment at the end of this life. Every day is judgment day. Every day you are being judged by your thoughts. Every day you get the outpouring or the outpicturing of your thoughts, of your thought life. Every day is judgment day. Every day your thoughts for today will confront you tomorrow. So, if you want something different, you got to do something different, which means what? Think differently. That's all you got to do. Only thing you need to do to change is change the way you think. Repent. Think differently, then life will be different for you. So simple. Because in the doing is the effect, right? Like Royal said, cause the effect. Your cause is mental. Your body follows the mind. So when you're trying to figure out what to do will be shown to you. Because of who you are, you will act accordingly. Your behavior follows your beliefs. So if you want to know why you keep doing what you do, because you keep thinking as you do. So if you wonder why, man, I keep saying I'm rich, I keep saying I'm rich, I keep saying I got a lot of money, but money just don't seem to stick. I get, a lump sum, and then it's gone in 2 weeks, or it never seems to stay with me. I'm always trying to figure out how to get money, because you haven't changed your core belief. You think you have to get money instead of understanding that I am money. When you stop making money be a thing and know that it's just part of your world, it's just a part of who you are. It's no different than you breathing. Do you wake up every morning and decide how many breaths you're gonna take? Do you make sure that you only take so many breaths so you have some breaths for tomorrow? That's how you have to think about money. You can't think about money. You think about money the same way you think about your breaths. I know that's a little bit, I'm expanding that consciousness there, right? Because we think we're supposed to save money. Do you save breath? You don't have to save breath. You don't have to say, I'm only going to take 10,000 breaths today, so I'll make sure I have some breaths for tomorrow. You only have today. Money is just like the air you breathe. It's just a part of you. It will always be there for you. Know that whenever you need it, it will always be there. You know that because you're breathing now, the next breath is always going to, right? The next breath is all, you're not worried, unless, now I'm not going to say some people don't get shorter breath or have different diseases that they believe in, where they certain things going on in there. But we know every disease is a result of the mind, right? Is a cause of the mind, right? We know that if people just thought differently, they wouldn't have problems. There would be no asthmatics, there would not be bronchitis, it would not be any of those things if people thought differently about that breathing was never to be laborious. It was never to be constricted, right? That is not the body attacking us, it's us attacking our body with our minds. Our mind attacks the body. And if we would just love it, cherish it, praise it, nourish it, which means talk to it. Tell them cells, hey cells, how y'all doing this morning? Let's go, let's get it, let's go. Tell them cells, we good today, we feel good today. We feel good today, don't we? Yes, we feel good today. But with that being said, that's all I got, y'all. Y'all got any final words before we close up shop? Go ahead, Royal.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Royal, did you have anything? I don't know if you're still there.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean to unmute, but I was just saying we had a great session, and see y'all next week.
Yes, 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 yes. Go ahead, Gigi.
It's like T said, don't just be hearers of it, be doers. So have fun with it, go for it, and let your magic come out, man. Let it do its thing. This was a great book club.
Yes.
Thank you again for this, T, and everybody.
Yes. Yes, love it. What about you, A-Town? You might have walked away. But yeah, okay, so next week, 6, 7, 8. Wednesdays we do our manifesting Wednesdays, where we talk manifestation. Of course, this whole platform is about, living the life that you desire to have, right? That's what it's all about. Living the life you desire to have, and knowing that there is no limitation to what you desire. There is no time slot, or there's no when or how. It's just about be the person, enjoy, like Gigi said, have fun with life. Don't be so concerned about when it's going to happen. The moment you release the how and the when, it just naturally becomes a part of your world. When you start, you'll find yourself not being depressed, not being anxious, not living in fear, when you let go of time constraints. When you stop thinking, well, I'm this age and I should have had this by now, or I'm this age, or this should have happened, or I planted this seed 2 years ago and still nothing has happened. Like when you rest in the Lord, that worry, that complaining, that wondering about how and when just dissipates, and you allow yourself to enjoy your life. And that's what you came here to, that your joy may be full. And the only way your joy can be full is you have to stop worrying. You have to stop being concerned about the how and the when, because you can't make it so. It happens when it's supposed to. It always happens when it's supposed to happen. And now, when does it happen? Whenever it happens, is always now. It always happens in the now. Always. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend. I look forward to Wednesday. Come over, join. Make sure you follow, subscribe to YouTube, check out all the videos on YouTube. Go follow me on Instagram, Facebook. Come join the Facebook group. Grab your free manifestation ebook bundle. I even got some merch too if you want some. I got some Fall in Love with You merch as well. Those of you are like, where's my SP? Where's my SP? I tell you, fall in love with you, and what they will too. So go grab some of that merch too. And until next time, thank you guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.